I've been involved with boxing for over 30 years. I won an Olympic medal, which I never talk about. I also won 7 national titles, a European gold medal, and I've helped millions of people reach their full potential in boxing. I've also coached some of the biggest superstars in the world and also some of the biggest athletes in the world as well. I've coached thousands of people at how to have success in coaching. Now you're probably thinking, Tony, shut up, you bloody big head. We're not bothered about all that. Which I don't blame you. But what I want to say is you don't have to box for 30 years to get all of the experience that I've got. Because, my friend, I've made this very long video giving you some of the best tips and tricks that I've learned and that I've passed on to other people, and now I'm passing them on to you as well. Now, as you can see with this bar across the bottom, these are different sections of this video that you can just go to right now and learn some of the really good tips and tricks that will help you level up. But sadly, none of this will help you unless you watch this first lesson right now, which has got so much great info on. So sit back, get your pen and paper, get your cigar. Maybe not your cigar because you're trying to get fit and better at boxing. You know what I'm saying. Enjoy, my friend. The hardest thing about starting boxing is not your footwork. It's not about being able to punch really hard. It's not your cardio's not right. You're not fit enough to go there. The hardest thing to start boxing is going to the gym for the very first time. Now, I don't think anyone understands this more than me. I've been in thousands of gyms around the world, and I know it can be very intimidating to go to a fitness class for the first time, never mind a boxing class. But let me tell you, if you find the right gym, which my tips on this video will help you, you will fall in love with boxing training and all the benefits that come with it. It's an absolute game changer, not just for your physical body, but for you mentally as well. Whether you're thinking about doing boxing for fitness to keep fit, lose some extra pounds, all while having fun and learning a new skill and ultimately helping you become the healthiest version of yourself, because let me tell you, boxing for fitness will definitely do that. Or you're looking to start boxing because you have a desire to get in the ring and have a fight. Well, on this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do to do both of those things, no matter your age, your fitness ability, your punching experience, and also it might help you make your mind up whether you do want to do it for fitness or for fighting. And this deep dive will tell you the specifics you need to start your boxing journey. Now, I just want to start off by saying boxing for fitness and boxing to compete is two completely different things. And generally, the two completely different places that you're going to train. One is a boxing fitness facility or just a regular gym that does boxing classes. And the other one is a boxing club. And then you've also got a third option as well, what I'll touch on in this video, is how to train at home for free and get a great workout. Now, if you're not sure whether you want to do it for fighting or for fitness, I would definitely recommend you start by going to a fitness gym first. This is a great way to learn the basics of the sport, all while getting supervised by some coaches. But if you're doing this, I would recommend you try and find a fitness gym that has trainers that's either got a boxing fitness certification or at least a little bit of boxing experience, because this way you know that they're going to teach you the right techniques. I've seen lots of boxing fitness trainers over the past who haven't really got a clue what they're doing and teaching crappy technique, which I guess it's not a problem if you're not bothered about technique and you just want to get a workout. But the problem with this is if you want to take it a little bit more seriously and you want to learn the real fundamentals of boxing, once you start training with a crappy coach, you get into bad habits. Now, once you're into a bad habit, let me tell you, I know firsthand it takes a long time to get out of a bad habit. So the best way is not to get into them in the first place. So don't be training with these crappy coaches. Now, the two best ways to find a gym like this is one, word of mouth. Do you know someone who's actually doing boxing training in your area? Also, have a look at their form and technique, see how they're looking. If they're looking good, yeah, great. And now the other way is looking on Google reviews, because when someone loves the gym so much, there's a chance that they will put a review on there. You can go on Google, read these reviews, and just see what people are saying about the gym. And there are so many gyms around the world that's doing boxing fitness trainers. Now, what I would recommend is trying to find a boxing burn class in one of these gyms. Now, if there is no boxing fitness classes around your area, you can also try and find a personal trainer or a private coach who can provide you with one-on-one instruction to help you develop a customized boxing training plan. Now, if that trainer is good and passionate and they've got experience, you'll be in good hands, I'm sure. But when you are working working one-on-one with a fitness trainer, it can get expensive, but I've got a little tip for you to get that price down. Firstly, you should always tell them the goals. And I'm guessing because you're watching this video, you want to learn boxing and get better at boxing. So the last thing you want is a trainer who's going to spend 5 minutes talking and wrapping your hands. They'll give you a 10-minute warm-up, 20 minutes of conditioning, and then lots of talking in between this. And before you know it, you're more than halfway through your 1-hour session and you haven't learned a thing about boxing. Then with the abs, cool down and stretch at the end of a session, what a lot of trainers do, you end up getting about 15-20 minutes of real quality boxing. So what you should do instead of that, which is way more beneficial and cost effective, is tell the trainer you only want a 30-minute session. So instead, what you would do, you would wrap your own hands. I've got a video on that. You will do a warm-up by yourself. I've got a video on that. And tell them you don't need any strength and conditioning work. All you want is 30 minutes of pure boxing. This way, you'll definitely get the most out of your boxing session. Now, the other way to learn boxing, if you really can't build up the courage to go to the gym, is by looking on YouTube and following along with videos. But the bad thing about working out on your own is that you have no one to correct you when you make a mistake. And when you're making mistakes regularly, you're bound to get in bad habits. So what you want to do in that situation is record yourself, whether you're hitting the heavy bag, shadow boxing. After you've recorded yourself, watch that video back and write down all the mistakes that you're making. And the next time you go to train, read their mistakes before you actually do the training. And that right there will help you get out of these bad habits. This full channel is dedicated on helping you get better at boxing. Now you can check out all of the videos on here for different drills and techniques that you can do for specific things in your boxing game. Now before I talk about training for a fight, I just want to say whether you're training for fighting or training for fitness, regardless of which approach you choose to do, it's important to focus on the basic fundamentals and not get too caught up in trying to look flash before you look good. Now, especially if you're training to fight. Now, before you even think about stepping into the ring, it's crucial that you've got a solid foundation in the basics of boxing. And by taking a class or working with a coach or watching the videos on YouTube and watching yourself, that will really help with that. And having a solid foundation will not only help you improve your skills, but it will also give you the opportunity to see if you enjoy the sport and if it's something that you want to pursue in the future before you get in the ring and start getting punched in the face. Now, if you're interested in competing in boxing, there's a couple of different paths that you can take. The best and most common, and the one I would recommend, is join a local amateur boxing gym. These gyms will allow you to compete in local, regional, and even national tournaments. And the gym shouldn't be letting you compete unless the coaches think you've got to a level where you're able to do this. Now, it's important to remember when you are choosing to do this for fitness or to do it for fighting, boxing is a pretty physical demanding sport and it requires discipline, hard work, and dedication. But with the right training, the right coach, the right people around you, you can develop the skills and confidence to be able to reach your goals and succeed in whatever they are. What if I told you it's incredibly easy to get ahead of 95% of people who are doing boxing training? And it only takes 5 minutes at the start of each session to be able to do this. And it all starts with step number 1, which is identification. I'll explain exactly what I mean by that in a second. But just know, most people who are training boxing are not doing this for either one of two reasons. One is they don't know it and no one's ever told them it yet. And the other one is they're just too bloody lazy. They probably wouldn't even watch a video like this all the way through, even if they knew it would help improve their boxing, where you would. And just because someone goes to the gym and they train really hard on the heavy bags and they're exhausted, doesn't mean that they're not lazy, because it's not just the workouts that you do in the side of the gym that's going to help set you apart from 95% of the other people. It's the things that you're doing outside, but also the 5 minutes before your sessions, which I'm going to tell you about in a second. So identification is step number 1 on this video, and that alone will really take you to the next level. And let me ask you this: how would you ever expect to get better at boxing if you don't know what mistakes you're making when you're in the gym? You can't, can you? It's impossible, isn't it? So I'm going to show you exactly how to identify your mistakes in step number 1, and just doing this will help you get better than most people, because they don't know what they're doing wrong. Probably like you right now. You might think you're doing something great, but you're really not. Now, this is how you're going to identify your mistakes. You're going to grab your phone and you're going to record yourself, your full body shadow boxing, and then on the heavy bags as well. Once you've recorded this, you're going to watch it back and identify your 3 biggest mistakes, or the 3 places you believe that you can improve the most. Now, when you're doing this, you've got to be honest with yourself and really be critical on your form, rather than thinking, "Ooh, that's a lovely job there. My 1-2 is so fast. I look great.
I haven't got any mistakes.
You can't be doing any of that. You've got to look at the things that you think that you can improve on, which we all can improve on something. Now, when you're doing this, it's important that you grab a pen and paper. Yes, a pen and bloody paper. I'm not talking about your phone, and you're gonna write down the 3 things on this piece of paper. Now, once you've got this, it's gonna really help you with steps number 2 and 3. This information is crucial for you in getting better. And already, just you having this information is gonna help you get better than most people in the gym who are sitting there watching boxing videos on Instagram and getting some inspiration from that and thinking,
Oh yes, I'll try this the next time I'm in the gym.
then they'll go to the gym and they'll try it, and they might feel good at whatever they're trying, or they might feel terrible and they'll not try it ever again. But that's the key thing. They'll not try it ever again, because what'll happen, they'll watch more Instagram videos and then they'll try something else and they'll think,
Oh yes, this coach is the best. Oh no, this coach is the best. I'm going to try this coach's thing. I'm going to try this fancy footwork drill, or this spinning uppercut BS.
whatever it is, that's what the other guys are doing, and you're not the other guys. You're the guy that's going to get better than all of them lot. Now, moving on to step number 2, you're going to do what my Olympic coach used to do for me and the other team without even having to have an Olympic coach, and that is creating an improvement sheet. Now, you might be thinking,
Tony, you're giving us a lot of things to do right here.
calm down. It's not a lot of things. And once you've got this, you'll have it forever. And once you've got it forever, this is an asset that can help you forever, or until you improve these mistakes, which you will do after you hear step number 3 and 4. Now, this improvement sheet, you're going to have your mistakes on there, and next to each one of them mistakes, you're going to write a solution for that problem. Now, let's just say when you've watched your video back, you've noticed one of your mistakes is you've got really slow feet and you're plodding around. Well, the chances are that if you're doing this, is you're not landing on the balls of your feet when you're moving, because when you move, land on the balls of your feet, you can move a lot faster. Now, I might be wrong here. That might not be your mistake, but I'm just giving you this as an example. So what you're going to do next to that mistake, you're going to write down, land on the balls of my feet rather than me heels. Now, that is the solution to that big problem right there. Now, do this for each of the 3 things that you want to improve on in your boxing game that you've already identified. And I can actually help you and give you some of these sheets with information on of what things you can improve on. I've created them already. If you grab a phone and scan this barcode right here, it'll take you straight through to the site where you can have these forms for free that have all of this information on, that have these sheets on, as well as some workouts as well. Here are the sheets that you will get. This one has got just about every common mistake on that I'll see in boxing. And next to it, it's got a grading system. So when you'll watch your video, you'll grade yourself. Then you'll write notes about it. Then you'll write how to fix it. But I've got a cheat sheet for you right here. This cheat sheet has got all of the answers on to the problems that you might have. And to get these sheets plus your workouts for free, you know what to do. Scan here and I'll send you a video package and these downloadable sheets for totally free. Now, step number 3 and 4, this is where you're going to start seeing the magic happen. And I'm not talking about magic like this. Definitely not. I'm talking about magic where you're going to really improve and enhance your boxing game. Now, one thing over my years of being in boxing gyms, I've noticed that when people go to the gym, whether it's for fitness or for fighting, they generally are working on the same thing just about every time they go. And if they have got bad habits, they will not really be focused on getting out of them bad habits. The coach might shout out,
Hey, keep your hands up. Hey, stop being flat-footed. Get on your toes.
You know the type, right? But that's not enough, my friend. So, step number 3, this is where you're going to be spending the 5 minutes before a session. You're going to be sitting there and you're going to read your improvement sheet, getting the information that you need into your head. And this is the stuff that you're going to be working on in these training sessions that I'm about to give you. And when you're sitting reading this, it's important because you need to be fully conscious of everything that you're going to be working on in the sessions. Because if you're not, you're going to go back into your old ways and you're going to forget about the things that you're working on, and you're just going to try and look all fancy on the bag. You're going to start making your bad habits even worse. And that right there is just the lazy way of training. which most people are doing. Even if they're, like I mentioned, training really hard and they're exhausted in every single session, it's still the lazy way of training. You need to be fully conscious of this stuff when you're working on it if you want to get out of these bad habits. Or if not, just be lazy. Just continue doing what you're doing. And I tell you what, mate, you'll just never get ahead. You'll never improve, or you might, but it'll take you forever. And I'm talking about improving fast. We always want to improve fast, and doing these methods will help you improve faster than anything else. So you can either be lazy and not do it, or you can either do it. But because you've got so far on this video, I believe that you're going to do it, and you're going to thank me later. So now that we have identified our mistakes, you know the importance of getting out of these bad habits. You know what you need to do on each one of these mistakes to improve. Now you know that you're going to sit 5 minutes before the session and read your mistakes. Then what do? Do you just go on the heavy bag and think, my 3 mistakes: bringing my feet together, dropping my non-punching hand, not turning my hips? And then do you try and do them all at once? Well, no. If you do that, the chances are that you're not going to improve one of the mistakes if you try to do all 3 at once. Instead, what you've got to do is work on one of your mistakes at a time in one full round. Just focusing on that one thing for the full duration of that round. Example, if you're doing 4 rounds of shadowboxing at the start of your session after your warm-up, which I think you should be doing just about every session, 4 rounds of shadowboxing is great. Round number 1, you're going to work on your worst mistake. Round number 2, you'll work on your second worst mistake. Round number 3, on your third worst mistake. And when I say work on it, I mean just focusing on that one thing for the full round. Then what you'll do on round number 4, after you've worked on the 3 mistakes, then my friend, you can put them all together in that round number 4. And that's your shadowboxing work done right there. Then when you go on the heavy bags, you can do something similar, but you will be doing more rounds on the heavy bag than 4. Well, I hope so. Now, if you do this correctly with the workouts that I'm going to give you, my friend, I will 100% guarantee that you will improve. Now, you might not be better than 95% of everyone in your gym, because the other guy might be watching this video and doing the same thing. But what I can 100% guarantee you is that if you do this correct, you will be better after you've done it than you were before. And it will just take you 5 minutes at the start of each session. Muhammad Ali, known as the greatest fighter of all time, he had his hands down a lot of the time. So this must mean that this is the best boxing stance, right? Well, what about Mike Tyson? He used to knock out everyone. He had the peekaboo style with his hands up like this, coming forward and really getting the power in them punches. So that must be the best boxing stance for you, right? Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali both got beat in their careers, but Floyd Mayweather didn't. Floyd Mayweather used to love the Philly shell. He was here like this. And because Floyd Mayweather never got beat, he had the Philly shell like this. So obviously that is the best boxing stance for you, right? Well, no. None of them stances is the best boxing stance for you. Now, if there's a trainer that tells you that there's one perfect boxing stance for everyone, they're full of shit. Send them this video. And the reason why is because every boxer is unique and they have their own special boxing stance that works for them. So how do you figure out which is the perfect boxing stance for you? Well, I'm going to tell you the simplest way to figure that out so you feel very fluent in your boxing training. And when you figure this out, it can take you to a whole new level. But first, it's important for you to know the pros and cons of the other stances that is out there. So when I give you the simple method after, you can simply slide into that boxing stance, which will be perfect for you. So the first one I want to go over is the hands down boxing stance. Now, if I'm here in front of him and with my hands down and he throws a jab, boom, I'm wide open for that. So I need to have very fast reactions to be able to defend that jab. And then come back with the punches of my own. Now, if you have got very fast reactions, this possibly could work for you, but there's very few fighters that this hands-down boxing style works for. Now, one good thing about this style is if I'm in front of my guy here with my hands down and he throws a jab, my punches are coming from different angles that he's not expecting because he's not used to fighting someone with the hands down. Now, the next style is Mike Tyson's peekaboo style. So what Mike Tyson would do in his peekaboo style, he's got his hands up high here. He's kind of square on, and he would be like stepping, moving forward like this, bringing up the power punches. But the problem with this style is you can't move back. So if I'm in with a strong guy like this guy right here, and he comes forward throwing the punches, and I'm in my peekaboo style, like I struggle to defend. So unless you are really strong, like Mike Tyson, moving forward and throwing some big bombs,
He should be hanging on. Now with the right hand, the left hand. I wouldn't really recommend the peekaboo style. Now, everyone is different. You might be able to mix the peekaboo style in with your traditional style or with the hands down style, and it could work for you. So I'm not saying definitely rule that out, but for me, I'm not a huge fan of this one. But moving on to the next one, the Philly shell. This is more like a Floyd Mayweather style here. And how this works is if my opponent throws a jab, I use my lead hand to parry that jab, like this, jab, like this. But now you notice this arm is down, which leaves me wide open for that right hand. But when he throws the cross, what I've got to do with the Philly shell is throw that cross. I use my shoulder to kind of defend my chin. If he throws a hook with his lead hand, I can use this to defend here. If he throws a cross to the body, I'm defending here. So them are your defenses. You'll defend a jab with a parry, you'll defend a cross with the shoulder, you'll defend a hook with the block there, and you defend your body with your arm across your body here like this. Obviously it worked for Floyd Mayweather, but I'm not a fan of this. I remember the first time I seen this style. I sparred with the number 2 on the Great Britain boxing team, who was coming for my Olympic place, and he came out with this Philly shell style like this, with his hand down. And I'd never seen it before. And I was in there with him like this, and I didn't understand it. So I threw a jab, he parried it. I threw a jab, he parried it. Now I'm thinking, why has he got his left hand down here? This means he's wide open for my overhand right. So I threw an overhand right, and it hit his shoulder. So then I thought, well, the top of his head's uncovered. So I thought, well, I'm going to throw a few of these. So we were here, and I went, boom, missed that one, boom, over. And I punched his head in with the overhand right, because this shoulder, when you're up against the ropes, you can't get out the way of an overhand right, especially if you're in there with someone faster than you. Floyd Mayweather managed to do this, but my guess is you're not Floyd Mayweather. I'm not Floyd Mayweather. The guy who I was sparring against wasn't Floyd Mayweather, and he couldn't get out the way of it. But I guess it worked for him until he came up against someone as a higher level like me, and then, yeah, I punched his head in. Obviously, he didn't get my Olympic place because that's when I went to the Olympics and had my success there. And now the final style, which I highly recommend you try and you work on before you work on anything else. There's a couple more stances that I'm not going to go over now, which I definitely don't recommend right now. You've got the cross guard, you've got the switching stance, the like really awkward style. It might work for you, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. But the one stance that I highly recommend you do, and there's so many fighters that are having success with it, and it's the stance that I had. Here it is right here. Can you see what I'm doing? This is the traditional boxing stance, with your hands up, elbows in, that line in between your feet. You've got that solid base. You're moving in and out with your feet. Your chin is down like this. You're throwing the traditional straight punches and the hooks, transferring your weight with each and every punch. Now, the reason why this is the best for you to start with, because when you develop this traditional boxing stance, if you do feel like, well, now, you know, I've got good reactions, I can drop my hands a little bit, then you can do it. If you do feel like having your hands up high and having that Philly shell, you can transfer it from the traditional stance. Now, if you start off with your hands down like this and you realize my reactions is not fast, I keep getting caught, you've already developed bad habits of throwing punches and bringing your hands down. And it's going to take a long time for you to get out of them bad habits. And that's why you need to start with the traditional, then move into whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm going to talk about 5 things that every beginner should know in boxing if they want to improve fast. And I'm also going to show you a way of being able to do each one of these 5 things with some high level tips that is simplified for you. So let's talk about the first thing, which is feet before hands. What do I mean by that? Well, when I see beginners in the gym, they'll often be blasting away on the bag, punching really hard and forgetting about their feet. And the reason for that is a lot of gyms, this one's a little bit better than most, you can't really move around the bag, so people forget about their feet. But to get good at boxing, you need to have good footwork, because without these being strong, these are going to be weak. Can you tell me one great fighter that's ever lived that's had bad footwork? I think I can think of 1 or 2, but can you? Well, let me know if you do. because generally every great fighter's got great feet. Now, what I recommend you think about when you're on the bag or on shadow boxing, or even if you are sparring yet, is don't throw punches while you're moving. So you don't want to be moving and punching, even though, you know, you can do this, I can do this because I've got experience. Instead, move around, plant your feet, then throw the punches, and then move around. Get used to moving, stopping, punching. Moving, stopping, punching. Now, I don't mean as in robotic where you're like moving, stopping, punching. Move, stopping. I don't mean like that. I mean more fluent where you're moving. See, I'm moving. I'm stopping my feet. Punch. Moving, stop my feet. Punch. Moving, stopping, punching. Now, a couple of things that you need to know when you're moving around, what I see beginners doing wrong all the time. And the big thing is, if I'm moving to my right, I never want to move my left foot first, because this is what happens. I cross my feet and I'm in a bad position. Instead, every time I move to my right foot first, move to my left foot first. The other thing that you need to be doing while you're moving is landing on the balls of your feet. So when I land on the balls of my feet, rather than heel toe, now I'm always in the position to throw them punches. If I land like this, I can't throw the punch. So always think about that. And the third thing is think about having loose knees. Now, you might have had a trainer who says bend your knees. You don't want to have bent knees where you're moving around like this. Instead, you've got them loose knees. So you're moving around, moving, stopping, punching, moving, stopping, punching. Then when you get a little bit more experienced, then you can start moving and punching at the same time. But for now, if you can't move your feet correctly and be fluent with it and look good and relaxed, you don't want to start trying to move and punch and getting ahead of yourself straight away. Now, when you do that with the other tips on this video, especially tip number 4, you are going to definitely improve fast. But first, let's move on to tip number 2, which is this. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you notice? What am I doing? Come on, think. Did you guess it? Well, if not, I'm going to do the opposite of that. See what I'm doing now? At first, what I was doing, what you should be doing, is working on the basics. The basics is your best friend. If you cannot master the basics, you're never going to be able to master the pivot hook like that. Well, that wasn't a good one, but you know what I'm saying. Even if you are an experienced boxer, even if you have been going to the gym for 3 months, 3 years, 30 years like me, the best thing to practice is the basics. There's not a great fighter ever who hasn't had great basics of boxing. When I'm talking about the basics, I'm talking about that lovely jab, that lovely 1-2, the 2 hook, the little bit of head movement in between, the little slips here. We don't want to start working on pivot hooks and 7-punch combinations like we see all of this crap on Instagram, where people thinking that they're doing this fancy footwork stuff and they're thinking they look great, because they're not. And that's not going to get you better at boxing. But what is the basic fundamentals, especially if you're a beginner. Now, let's talk about the next big thing. And this is a mistake that I see beginners doing all the time. But what I'm going to say is men do this all the time. And I've taught thousands of women with the gym that I own in Los Angeles, but men is the worst at this. And what it is this. Watching. Here. You see what I did? I held my breath. And that, my friend, is what men seem to do when they come to the gym and the beginners at boxing. You hold your breath and you think, I'm going to hold my breath, I'm going to punch as hard as I can, and you end up getting tired straight away. And then you think, oh, this boxing game is tough. It's too hard for me. Instead, we need to relax and breathe. And I've got a great drill for you that I'm going to show you right now that you can do that's going to help you breathing and staying relaxed. And this is how I teach breathing, because although I just made fun of men there for doing this, even me, when I had 100 odd fights, it was hard for me to breathe especially when I was sparring. I used to struggle with it. Now, this drill is something that I created, and when I've been teaching boxing, I always teach this to people who are struggling with breathing. And what it is what you want to do, you do this at the beginning of your round, if you're doing shadow boxing, is have your hands down here like this. You're going to be moving your feet, moving around, moving left, right. And I'm focusing on two things here. The first thing that I want to focus on is breathing, where I'm staying relaxed. So I'm here, staying nice and relaxed. Now I'm fit enough, you're probably fit enough to do this all day long. Now the other thing I'm thinking about is keeping my feet apart. Like I spoke about in tip 1, this is also going to help you having great feet as well. Now the reason why I've got my hands down is because it's easier to have your hands down and stay relaxed than it is when you put them up. Because every day in life, we walk around with our hands down. I hope you're not walking around like this. Now you've started boxing and you're a beginner, walking around, mooching around the streets where it's like, yeah, don't be doing that. So yeah, again, I want our hands down because we're staying relaxed here, like this. Then from there, what we're going to do, then we'll bring our hands up. Again, focusing on that nice relaxation. And then once you've got your hands up and you've done this for like 30 seconds, moving around, whether if you're shadow boxing, you can throw them punches, focusing on breathing. If you're on the bag, you can do the same thing. Focusing on breathing and staying relaxed. Now that is a great drill to help you get into the habits of being able to relax and breathe when you're boxing. And it's something that I highly recommend, my friend. And you can do this in front of a mirror when you're there and you're looking at yourself, making sure that you've got good form while you're doing it. Your chin's not up in the air, which is another beginner mistake, which I haven't got on this list, but yeah, be aware that your chin's not in the air. And now we've got 2 more tips left. Tip number 4, number 5. Number 5 is another one that men seem to do all the time as well, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me with that one. But first, I want to talk about tip number 4, which is another thing that I'm always teaching, especially beginners. Because when you come to the gym, whether you've been going to the gym for 1 month, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, what do we tend to do is we tend to try and punch as hard and as fast as we can every single time. And when you're trying to punch really fast, what tends to happen is you lose form. So if I'm throwing a fast jab, see what's happening in this one? See all the time. This will come down here. I'm forgetting about my non-punching hand because I'm focusing on trying to punch really fast. I'm trying to look better than Peter in the gym, or I'm trying to show off to Sally over there who's got the nice hair. Oh, where's these dad jokes coming from today? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So if you're punching fast, and there's not a problem with punching fast, if your form is really good. 9 times out of 10, your form is not good, especially if you're a beginner. So what I like to say is do it slowly at first and get it correct. And then once you've got it correct and your form is good, then we can pick the speed up. Because, my friend, if you haven't got great technique when you're throwing something slow, there's absolutely no chance of you having good technique of throwing it fast. So start off slow, get that perfect technique, and then when you've got that perfect technique with the jab, then we can start to pick up that speed. Do you agree with me? I'm sure you do. Okay, now this next tip is something, like I said, men are doing this all the time as well. But before I talk about this, I just want to ask you a question, really. Like, what is your goal with boxing? And why are you doing this? Are you doing it for fitness? If so, great. It's one of the best workouts in the world that you can do. Keep doing it. Are you doing it because you want to be a fighter? Also, great. It's a great fulfilling sport, and there's nothing better than getting your hand raised if you ever do have a fight. Are you doing this for self-defense, where you might be thinking someone might want to have a fight with you on the street and you want to, learn how to punch just to be able to defend yourself and give you that confidence? Again, great. Boxing is so good for that as well. Now, if you are doing it for one of these 3 things I've just mentioned there, you're going to get better results if you're doing it correctly. You understand that, right? We all understand that. But how do you know whether you're doing it correctly or not? Well, there's a course that I created called Master Boxing, where I've got over 120 videos, and I break down every technique that you need to totally excel in boxing. And there's also questions for each one of the videos as well. So all of the stuff that you're learning helps retain in your brain. This is a one-of-a-kind course that I put all of my knowledge in from my years of boxing experience and coaching experience to help you reach your full potential in boxing, no matter what level you're at. If you're interested, you can get your phone out and you can scan here. It'll take you straight through the website, or go to TonyJeffries.com and get all of the details there. Let me help you reach your full potential in boxing. Now, let's talk about this other thing that men do all the time. So the last thing that I said men do all the time, they come in, they hold their breath and they really go for it and they get exhausted, right? So now just say you don't hold your breath and you're breathing, exhaling in every punch. The thing that I see so many people doing is trying to punch hard every single time. Now, like I mentioned about the start slow and build up fast, if you're trying to punch fast all the time, your technique's not going to be great. If you're trying to punch hard all the time, your technique's not going to be great. But that being said, even if your technique was great, every punch doesn't have to be hard when you're on the bag. And beginners have got a habit of trying to punch hard all the time. And part of the reason why they're getting tired, part of the reason why you're not improving, because you're really putting everything into each punch. Instead, what I would say is throw 80% of your punches around 80% of your speed and power, and then the other 20%, 100% speed and power. So that's basically 2 punches out of every 10. You whip in them power punches. And this will help you with everything that I've been talking about on this video. On this video, I'm going to give you 8 tips to be able to work inside on the heavy bags. And I guarantee you this, you're going to be better at hitting the heavy bag after you've watched this video than you are right now. There's a lot of coaches out there that don't teach what I'm about to show you on this video, but the benefits of being able to work correctly when you're inside on the heavy bag is massive. You should always be doing it like the way I'm going to show you. But before I get into them tips, there's a few things that you should be doing every single time you're on the heavy bag, regardless of your goal, whether you're trying to be a fighter or you're doing this for fitness. And the first thing that you should be doing every single time you're on the heavy bag is keep everything you're doing realistic. I see so many people, even fighters, when they're on the bags, because this is not hitting them back, they start doing stupid stuff like just getting lazy, dropping their hands in, start thinking they're like a Roy Jones Jr. And I get it, the bag's not hitting us back. But what tends to happen is you'll start to develop bad habits. If I'm throwing a jab and I'm bringing it down here, just being lazy like that, then what would happen if I got into the ring and I kind of switched off when I threw that jab and this come down here, boop, I'm getting hit with the overhand right. But not only that, it doesn't look great to me. To the uneducated eye, it might look like, oh wow, look at that guy. He's got his hands down. He's working, he's looking like Prince Nazim Hamid. But really, I go in the gym and I see someone like this. I'm like, mate, who does he think he is? What's he doing? Like, if I'm in the ring with him, I'm going to punch him straight in the bloody face. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't do every time they're hitting the heavy bag, which you should do, is have a goal. If your goal is to get fitter and stronger, then you still need to have a plan to reach your goal. Just going in there and doing 4 3-minute rounds on the heavy bag, it will get you fitter, but if you go in there and think, at the end of each round, I'm going to go harder for the last 30 seconds, that's going to help you reach that goal even faster. Now, depending on what your goal is, you need to have a plan to get to it. Because, my friend, a goal without a plan is just a wish. That's a quote I love. Now, the next thing that you should be doing every time you're on the bag is also thinking about defense, different defensive moves. Like I mentioned earlier on, the bag is not hitting us back. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't work on the parry or the slip or even the roll or the lean back or the step back. We want to be working on them every time. And that right there can be a great example for a goal that you can have. I want to get better defense. So what you should do is work on defense every time you're on the back. Every time you throw a jab, you're going to slip. You're going to move your head. Every time you throw that 1-2, you're going to work on a defense after that. So them are 3 things that you should be doing every single time you're on the bag, regardless if you're working inside or on the outside. Keep it realistic, always have a goal, and never forget about your defense. Now, my friend, let's talk about working on the inside, and don't do it like that and say, I've seen Tony Jeffries do that in his video. Look at me. Don't do that, right? I'm going to give you 8 tips right now that's going to really up your inside game. And starting with the first one, which is you want to plant your feet when you're here. When you're planting your feet like this, with a slight bend in your knees, this is going to really help with your balance and help whip in them punches. Now, you might have heard coaches in the past say, bend your knees when you're on the heavy bag. And yeah, look, you can see my knees have got a bend in, but I wouldn't think so much about bending your knees, because I've seen it time and time again where a coach will tell someone, bend your knees. Next thing they're like this, they're not on the heavy bag with the bent knees. And they're looking and they're moving around with these bent knees, with a butt sticking out like this. Mate, yeah, you got to bend in your knees, but not like this. Keep the knees nice and loose with them feet planted. And that's going to help you generate the speed and power that you need when you're working on the heavy bag. Bloody hell. Now let's move on to number 2, which looks like this. See what I'm doing here? I'm mixing it up from head to body, body to head. See, a lot of people think when you're working inside, you're only doing this just to work on body punches. But you're not. You can work on head punches. Because after all, if we're inside in a fight and I'm here and I'm just working on body punches, them's getting blocked all day long like this. So to open up the body, what have you got to do? You've got to hit the head. And then the opposite side of that is, if I'm hitting the body, where does that open this guy up? Opens up out of the head. So that's why we've always got to mix it up, which if it was in a fight, it would keep the person in front of you thinking all the time. So when you are inside, you can go from hook the body, hook the head, or you can even stand inside with them. You can throw a few little straight ones and whipping that body shot, come back up, head, body, body, head. Always be mixing it up when you're inside on the heavy bag. Now moving on to tip number 3, which I just did there, and see if you can see what it's going to be. Did you notice? You might be thinking, well, every punch is hard, but it's not. It's the opposite. Every punch doesn't have to be hard. Just because your feet's planted and the bag's up close doesn't mean you need to be blasting like that. You're going to get tired fast. And when you start getting tired, that's when you start making mistakes. And I don't want you to make mistakes. I want you to get better at boxing. The reason why I put all of these tons of videos on my channel is to help you get better at boxing. So what I'm saying is, if you're tired by throwing every punch hard, it's going to prevent you from getting better at boxing. So that's why when you're inside, you can touch a couple upstairs, touch a couple of the body, then whip one in. Touch a couple, whip one in. So I'm here, exploding in that one punch. Keep that in mind when you're working inside. And when you do that with the next 3 or 4 tips, your inside game is going to go through the roof. And you're going to comment on my video and say, Tony, you are the man, you helped me so much. But why the bloody hell have you got your shirt off on this video? You never do that. Well, I'm going to talk about why I've got my shirt off in a little bit. But now, let's talk about tip number 4. And it's something that so many people neglect when they think they're going to work inside in the heavy bag. And see if you can see what I'm neglecting here. Do you see it? I'm going to do it again. What am I neglecting here? No, you missed it, didn't you? Well, it's how am I getting inside? Often, people just walk up inside, then they'll be here. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video about keeping everything realistic? If I'm in the ring with someone, and I'm not going to just walk up like this, get close inside, then... No, I need to work to get my feet inside. So the best way to do that is, if I'm here, I'm working on the outside, just on my jab. I'm going to do a little feint. I'm going to throw the punches, bring my feet close to the bag, and then go to work straight away. It'll look like this. I'm here, long punches. See what I did there? I feinted, got my feet inside, then I start working. And this is just getting you into great habits that you need to be in if you want to get better at boxing. Tip number 5. See if you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, you can tell, right? What am I doing here? I wasn't doing this earlier on. Moving your head. People will forget to move the head when they're working inside. Instead, they'll just be here with their feet planted or the knees bent. Like this. But watch how much better I look when I move my head. I'm here. I'm rolling, I'm slipping. I'm rolling, putting myself in positions like a Mike Tyson, but not as good. Whipping in them body punches, getting more power in them because I'm moving my head and using the momentum of that movement, putting it behind each and every punch. Now, if your coach has taught you a lot of this stuff before, he's a good coach. But I guarantee you, he hasn't taught you tip number 7. But before we get on to tip number 7, we need to go on to tip number 6, which is going to help you improve your body punches. If you watch my videos regularly, you will know I always wear a shirt, but also you will know I always say repetition is the best way to improve anything. Repetition, repetition, repetition. As long as you're doing it the correct way. It's a waste of time doing repetition, repetition. If you're throwing sloppy punches, you can be practicing all day long on a jab like this, but it's not going to get better. You need to be doing it the right way. When I'm inside in the bag, rather than just being here and just throwing 3 punches like that, let's get this lead hook to the body unbelievable. And this is why I used to stop so many opponents with my lead hook to the body. I would come in the gym and I would be working 3 hooks to the body. Look at that, 4 hooks to the body. And you can see that's a solid lead hook to the body. 3. Let's do 6. Because I can throw 6 great, strong, solid lead hooks to the body. Just imagine how good my single hook to the body is. If I can throw 6 good, strong, solid lead hooks to the body, my single lead hook to the body is going to be phenomenal, which it is. Without being big-headed, it was my favourite punch. Now, number 7 and number 8 is what coaches don't really teach when they're on the heavy bag, and it's this. See what I'm doing here? Especially with this big guy. I'm pushing the bag, pushing it back. When I lean forward on the bag, what happens? Well, the gravity of that bag is pushing me back. Now, when you're pushing the bag, don't push it with your hands like this. I'm just using this as an example. Now, have your hands up here, and you're going to be using your legs to push the bag. So I'm here, the bag's pushing me back. See, I'm using my legs. And then from there, I can come back to it. I can even push it even higher here. Now it's getting even heavier, it's even harder. And this right here is not just helping me work inside, but I can feel it working me legs, working me core, and obviously working me punches, helping me punches get even better as well. And another great thing you can do when you are pushing the heavy bag like this is push it to create space. Like if you think I'm in the ring with someone, and if we're this close, like this, there's no real space for us to throw punches. That's when we've got to create space. So if I'm here, I can push the bag, create the space, and then as that space is created, then straight away whipping them punches. So I'm here, I'm going to create space for the punches. I'm here, I'm going to create some space. But it's crucial when you're doing this, you don't push your arms out like that. Can you see why? Look at me chin, it's wide open. But instead I'm here, I'm going to move forward, I'm going to use my legs, push with my legs. That's going to create that space and then whip the punches in. I'm here, pushing my leg. See, I'm here, here. Me look at my legs, got a slight bend in, use the legs, whipping in them punches. Does your coach teach you that? My coach never. I wish he bloody did though, because it would have helped. All right, moving on to number 8, which is another thing that coaches don't really teach when they're working inside. I'm going to show you it, and then I want you to see if you can guess what it is. So I'm going to be here, I'm working inside. See that? I think you did. I'm inside and I'm changing the angle. Moving around. Switching the angle. So a great way to think about this is, if you finish a combination with your right hand, step with your right foot, and then throw your opposite hand. So I'm here, I'm inside, I'll throw a short right hand to the body, I'm going to step with my right foot, and then throw my left hand. I'm here. Same if I do it to my left. I'm going to throw a left hook to the body, then I'm going to step with my left foot and throw the right hand at the same time. So I'm here. And when you're doing it that way, I'll have it on the screen here. When you throw your left hand, step to your left, or when you throw your right hand, step to the right, and this puts you in the perfect position to be able to throw these punches. Now, real quick, the reason why I've got my shirt off like this is because it doesn't seem like 2 minutes ago I looked like this. I was fat, I was out of shape. I just felt really bad about myself. And now I'm the same weight as I was 16 years ago when I fought in the Olympic Games. I'm 81 kilogram. And I did this not just through exercise, but by diet as well. Did you know that there's only 14 single punches to throw in all of boxing? But you only need to master 3 of them punches, as well as the combination that I'm going to give you at the end of the video, to really level up in boxing. Before I break down these 3 punches, I want to test your boxing knowledge, because I'm going to do all 14 single punches on the bag, and I want to see if you can name them before the name comes on the screen. Here's the first one. Yeah, you got that one right. Easy, the jab. Now the second one, it's a little bit more difficult, but here it is. Now, whoa, that one nearly ended up in a disaster. Here it is. What's the name of that one? Well, that is the bolo punch. Next, the cross. Next, ooh, the lead screw shot. That's a tricky one. Moving on. Oh, mate. Yes, you got that one, the lead hook. Yeah. Now this one's hard to do on the bag, but here it is. Easy, right? Moving on. We're here. The rear screw shot. Moving on, my favourite punch in all of boxing. Are you ready for this one? Oh, the lead hook to the body. Now the most advanced one on this list. Oh, I'll do that again. Watch the feet. Oh, the pivot hook. Next one, come back around this side. It's a rear hand. Oh, now it's there. The rear hook. Oh, some power in that one. Next one, pretty advanced as well. Come on here. This floor's too slippy. Rear hook to the body. And the last one's something that I never really teach. It's here. That lead uppercut. How many of them did you get right before the name come on the screen? Let me know in the comments. So which of them 14 punches is the ones that you should perfect and work on the most? Maybe you've noticed that some of the best fighters in the world seem to win with only a few key moves. And I perfected a lot of these punches, which helped me have success in boxing as well. So let's go over them 3 punches, as well as the great combination at the end to really help you level up. Number 1, the most important punch in boxing, the pivot hook to the body. Now you need to perfect that punch to have any success. Just kidding. You know what it is, right? It's the jab. That's why Floyd Mayweather, after 50 fights, who's got the most perfect jab, is still working on it right now. He's constantly practicing this, as well as Canelo Alvarez right here. He's in the gym working on this jab non-stop. Now I'm going to show you 3 different methods of being able to throw this jab the very next time you're in the gym. But first, why is it the most important punch in boxing? Well, it's the closest punch to your opponent. If my opponent's in front of me there, and my boxing stance is like this, my lead hand is closer to him, so it's got less distance to travel, it will get there faster. But as well, it's the perfect punch to find the range with. If you can't land your jab, how are you going to be able to land your right hand, or your rear uppercut, or your left hook to the body, or any of them other single punches that I spoke about? And with that, it helps set up any other combinations that you want to throw behind the jab. And once you perfect this punch with the other 2 punches that I'm going to give you on this video, you are going to really level up, my friend. So the 3 ways you can throw this, like Floyd right here, he's on the spot. He's throwing it for speed, blasting in that heavy bag over and over again. If you notice his front foot, he's doing a slight little step on the spot with that. That step is helping him get more momentum with the speed of the punch. So he's on the spot here, and he's doing a little step with his foot, making sure the step and the punch lands at the same time. And that right there will help you improve the jab. The next way we can use the jab is for a defense. People don't often think of a punch for defense, but it is. If you can learn how to step back and jab at the same time, it's not only going to improve your overall boxing, but as well, it will help you be able to master the left hand. And you can do this on the bag by pushing the bag and having it swing to you. So I'm going to move forward with the bag, and as it comes back, that's when I'm going to jab it and step at the same time. And it'll look like this. So it's swinging, I'm coming forward, stepping back and throwing it. One more time there. If you watch my feet and my hands at the same time, I'm coming forward, it's coming back. And you can work on punching and moving backwards at the same time with that lead hand. And the third way is my favorite way, is the power jab. This is where you're stepping forward and throwing it at the same time, punching through your target. Now, you're not going to get as much speed with this jab, but you're going to get some serious power with it. And it looks like this. If you see the power there, but again, I'm stepping and punching at the same time. Bam! That's a big power jab there. Now moving on to the second punch that you need to master. It's a Superman punch, like this right here.
Oh, right on the button, you see?
Not really, but what it is the best punch other than the jab that beats a hook or an uppercut. And when you do it right, like the way I'm going to show you, you're going to get more speed and power in this punch than you've probably ever had before. Now the reason why this beats the bent arm shot, because to land an uppercut or the hook, your feet needs to be so close to your opponent that you can do that. But if I'm throwing that too, and when he's coming close to me, boom, I can move back out of the way. His bent arm shots is going to miss me because the distance is shorter than this. So you can see the difference right there. With this punch, it's a long range shot. That's why you can get there faster with it than you could with a hook or an uppercut. When you're practicing this, it's important that you don't bring your head forward. And I see this all the time, where people will throw this punch and their head will come forward over the front foot. Really, you don't want to be doing that. You want to think that there's a line in front of your head and you want to turn and punch through the target like this. There is a time and a place for you to bring your head forward. If I was going to throw the lead hook to the body after that punch, I would then throw the cross, bringing my head forward so I can land that hook to the body. But when you're keeping your head back behind the line and you throw that punch fully extended like you see Canelo Alvarez doing here, you see the serious power he's got into that punch.
You have a conventional fighter, and there is Canelo!
Now before I show you the combo that you should be practicing every single time you're in the gym to help you level up, I want to show you the third best punch. Well, this is actually not a punch, it's a headbutt. My jokes are terrible today, mate, aren't they? It's not a headbutt, don't do that. But this punch is so great for a number of reasons. You can get so much power in this punch to knock someone out. You can throw it at 3 different ranges. It has a surprise element to it. It's another punch that's great for setting up other combinations. It can be used as a great counter punch. And when you're using this in training, it will really engage your core muscles as well. And when you do it right, it's going to really improve your overall balance in boxing. And this is what Mike Tyson said about training for this punch.
Just continually do it. Repetitions, repetition until I do it right.
You may have guessed it, I'm talking about the lead hook. But if you don't throw it the way I show you, you're not going to get any power into it and you might lose balance. Now look how I'm throwing this here. I've got my weight on the front foot. I'm transferring the weight to my back foot as I throw this punch, and that weight transfer is what's getting the power in the punch. I'm keeping my non-punching hand up by the face. I'm punching through the bag, exhaling, turning my hips. And when you do this all together, that's where you get the serious power into the punch that you're seeing me do right here. Now this combination that you should be practicing every time you're in the gym, it builds on your fundamentals. It breaks through someone's defense. It mixes up the targets. You will get speed and power in this, I guarantee, if you do it right. It will improve your coordination and balance. It'll improve your rhythm and timing. And doing it multiple times will enhance your endurance. Practice this as much as you can. Here it is. One more time.
Time for Pacquiao if he can find the right time. Oh, and a beautiful combination.
And that right there is a jab, jab, 2, hook, 2. Now when you're throwing this combination, start off slow. Jab, jab, 2, hook, 2. And then start throwing it faster. Can you spot what I'm doing wrong here? Did you see it? Well, it was nothing. That was perfect. And by the end of this video, you're going to look perfect the next time you're on the heavy bag, because I'm going to go over the 5 things that holds most people back from looking good in boxing training. And I've noticed a pattern. These 5 things is what most people are doing wrong. Starting with number 1. See if you can see what I'm doing wrong here. Did you see it? Can you see it? If we watch that again in slow motion, look where my lead hand is going every time I throw it. It's dropping too far down. Not bringing that non-punching hand back to your face doesn't just make you look like a novice, but also if you were in a fight and you threw a jab and you drop this down here, boom, big right hand over the top and you're in trouble. An easy fix for this is to slow your punches down and remind yourself every time that the non-punching hand comes back to the face. Now moving on to number 2 is something that I see men doing all the time when they're trying to punch really hard. Let's see if you can see it. See that jab? How many times have you seen a hard jab like that? Now you might be thinking, ooh, that is a hard jab. And it definitely is hard. What about the right hand? When you see this one, I'm doing the same mistake. Oh, but it's powerful. But it'll knock someone out. Yes, it is. If you can land the bloody thing, but throwing punches like that isn't just slow, but I can see them coming a mile away. And that is because you're telegraphing your punches, meaning you're pulling them back before you throw them out. Now, if I pull my jab back like this before I throw it out, that punch would never land if you were in a real fight. Yes, it's hard, but you can get power into the punch without having to pull it back. By doing a couple of things. One, by continuing to step and punch. But the other thing is, think about trying to punch through the bag. And if it's coming from my face and I'm stepping and I'm punching through the bag, you want to see some big power in this jab. See the power? It's coming from the face. And when we get to the last tip on the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to get some serious bloody power in these punches, like what I had here when I knocked this guy Spark out in a fight. But first, there's this next common mistake that I see, and it looks okay to the uneducated eye in boxing. But if you are in the gym with people who know boxing and they see you doing this, they're like, nah, that's a big no-no. See if you can tell what it is. Can you tell? But if you didn't notice it then, I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit more and then see if you can tell what it is. Please tell me you can see what I'm doing wrong now. I can't exaggerate anymore or I'll be like this. And that right there is putting your chin in the air. Now when you first see me doing this, you might think, that looks okay. It doesn't look that high. But let me tell you, my friend, just having your chin here is too high. Imagine this is a boxer in front of me and they've got their chin like this. What I'm going to do is dip down with the body shot and then whip over a left hook going around the side, hitting them straight on that chin and knocking them out. Maybe not every time, but you know what I'm saying. So make sure you're keeping that bloody chin down, looking up through your eyebrows like this. And you might have heard the phrase in boxing, head up, chin down, which means you don't want to put your head down with your chin down. You need to keep your head up, put your chin down, looking through them bloody eyes. Now moving on to number 4 before I give you the big tip at the end. A lot of actually high level fighters don't even do this. So I would be surprised if you can tell by watching me right now, if you can see what mistake I'm making. Here it is. Could you tell? Probably not. But now when I put it side by side with the tip that I'm going to give you, can you see the difference? Just look at the after clip. And right here you can see I look like a much better boxer because of what I'm doing. And that is moving my head before and after every single punch or combination. Now the reason why we do this isn't just to make us look like a much better boxer. As you can see here, side by side again, I look way better. And if we were in a real fight, like you see Mike Tyson here, moving his head, he's way harder to hit. So practice this and it will be an absolute game changer. Now moving on to the big one, which I see everyone doing when they are starting out in boxing. Okay, let's see if you can tell what mistake I'm making here. I'm still moving my head, look at that. Could you tell? Now I'm going to do it again the correct way and show you. And when you do this, you will see a big difference in your boxing. Here's the side-by-side comparison, and you will see straight away what I was doing wrong. As you can see on the after, just how much harder that I'm hitting. And I'm doing one simple thing, which is turning my body into my punches. When you can see the before, there's no rotation in the hips. But after, I'm turning in to every single punch, which is getting more power.
I was in Los Angeles training the son of a billionaire. This 17-year-old boy had been training with me for some time. We were in the ring doing mitt work and I was holding the mitts. We were moving around and he could punch really hard. Pap,
And out of the corner of my eye, I seen someone walk into the gym, and I wasn't paying any attention to that person though, because, you know, when I'm training someone, I'm just focused on the person in front of me. And then the person who walked into the ring went and was leaning on the ropes, watching us while we were doing the mitt work. And then at the end of the round, the bell went, and I turned around and I seen it was Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And the boy I was training went up and went, "Hey, Ray," and gave him a fist pump. And Ray went, "Hey, I've just come to watch you do some boxing." He said, "Oh, that's great. Nice to see you." And I didn't even know that this boy knew Ray Leonard. And he said, "This is Tony, my coach." And he went, "Hey, Tony, nice to meet you." I took my mitt off. I shook his hand. I said, "It's an honour to meet you, Ray. You're an absolute legend." But by this time, the bell went again. And the boy was ready, and I got my mitts on. We're going again, working on the mitts. But now I'm nervous. I've got bloody Sugar Ray Leonard watching me doing mitt work, and he was taking a proper close look. Anyway, at the end of the training session, I was speaking to him, and he said, "I'm very interested and fascinated in the mitt work." And he told me when he was fighting, he didn't do mitts. All he was working on was the heavy bag and doing his sparring as well. So the moral of this story is, you might have seen lots of people doing all this fancy mitt work BS stuff on social media and think,
Well, I need to do that stuff if I want to get better at boxing.
and you don't. You've just got to be hitting this correctly, which I'm going to tell you about on this video. Anyway, I became friends with Sugar Ray Leonard. I even did a live training session with him where I trained him online during COVID. Before we get into the education stuff, I just want to tell you why this is so good and also why this can be so bad as well. The heavy bag is a great tool to help you improve your technique. When you're doing this correctly and consistently, you can really become a good boxer from just doing this, even without any sparring or even without any coaches as well. When you're focusing on the good form all of the time, it will really help you develop into a good boxer. A couple more things that this is great for as well is it helps improve your cardio and endurance. I often get asked on social media, what is the best way to increase my stamina, to get better and last longer in boxing? And my answer is always the same. It is by doing boxing, by hitting the heavy bag. And other than having great form, improving your cardio and your endurance, also hitting this thing can really help with your mental toughness, especially if you haven't got anyone there pushing you and you've got to push yourself, because it can get repetitive, it can get boring, and it can be bloody hard work. So it'll really help with your mental toughness. Now let's talk about the bad things about the heavy bag. If you're doing this incorrectly, this is the fastest way for you to pick up and develop bad habits. If every time you're throwing a jab, like you're bringing it down here in a 1-2 and you're bringing your hands down here, this is going to develop into bad habits. Even if you're not planning on being a fighter, you don't want to look like that. Instead, you want to be working on good form, like I said. And because it's not hitting us back, this is why we do these stupid things on the heavy bag. Now, another bad thing is if you're doing this incorrectly and you're not hitting it with the right part of your hand, there's a good chance you could get injured from hitting the heavy bag, especially when the bag is swinging. And I see a lot of beginners that try and punch it when they come back and it's big like this, and that's when they'll sprain the wrist and hurt the hand. So that's definitely a bad thing as well. And the next bad thing, I'm going to call it a bad thing, even though I've just said it'll help you. And the reason why I'm not a huge fan, now I've retired from boxing, of doing 6 3-minute rounds on the heavy bag is it's bloody boring for me. You know, it's not hitting us back. But that being said, I've been hitting one of these things for nearly 30 years now, since I was 10 years old. So yeah, it is a bit boring for me. Okay, so let's talk about how do you hit the heavy bag. Every time you hit a heavy bag, you want to have hand wraps on and you want to have gloves on. You might have seen at the beginning of the video, I haven't got my hand wraps on right now. So yeah, I apologize for that. But I'm not going to be hitting the bag hard. This is an educational video. So do what I say, not what I do. Now, range on a bag is very important. Example, if I stand here and throw the jab, I'm out of range. Even though you can see I'm hitting it, I've got to lean over to land that punch because I'm out of range. Then on the other side, if I'm here, I'm hitting it like this. Now, I'm too close to the bag and I can't fully extend my punches. So the way you find that perfect range is you don't want to be here where my fully extended arm, I'm just touching the bag. I want to be a little bit closer than that so my punches can punch through the bag. So if I freeze here, you can see it's not fully straightened. Here, it's not fully straightened. But when I do punch the bag, I will fully straighten my arm and that will get the power into the punch as well. Fully extended, again with my jab. Fully extended because I'm punching through the target. So starting off with throwing the punches, a couple of things that I want you to think about when you are throwing the punches. No matter what punch I'm throwing, I always want to have the non-punching hand by the face. So if I'm punching with my straight left, look where my right is. Often what I see with beginners, they'll be focusing so much on this straight left This will come down here, and we call this fire in the bow and arrow, because I see it so often. You need to have this glued by the face. And that goes the same with if I'm throwing my cross. My left hand's up by the face. If I'm throwing the hook, whatever punch I'm throwing, the opposite hand wants to stay up by the face at all times. Now, the next thing about when you're hitting the heavy bag, the mistake I see beginners doing all the time, is this. Holding your breath. Now, I get it. We want to punch hard. I get it. It's natural. If you want to really push and do something as fast, as hard as you can, it's natural for us to hold our breaths. But when you hold your breath when you're throwing the punch, not only are you going to get tired faster and your punch won't be as fast and as explosive as you want, you get less power. So you want to get into the habit of being able to breathe every single time you throw a punch with a little exhale. Then 2 punches, 2 exhales. Then 3 punches, 3 exhales. Get in the habit of exhaling every time you throw that punch. And this is going to help you stay relaxed, which when you are relaxed, you're going to get more speed. And as well, you're not going to get tired as fast. So this is key for anyone when you're hitting the bag. So right there, you've seen I was throwing some jabs and then across. Now, I'm not going to talk about how to throw these correctly with the right technique. I've done tons of videos on how to turn into punches and throw punches with the good technique. On here, it's all about hitting the heavy bag and what I see beginners doing and the right way to hit it. Now, watch what happens when I hit the bag with a nice 1-2. What's happened to it? It's swinging, right? Now, when it's swinging, there's a couple of things that you need to think of. My range has got to change. I was standing here, but now the bag is out of range when it swings up. If it comes close to me, now it's too close to me, I'm in range. So I've got to find the range with my feet to hit the bag perfectly and how to control the heavy bag. Because what people do, they think, oh yes, I hit the heavy bag and it's swinging. And then they start hitting the heavy bag like this. Now it swings even more. Then they'll hit it again like this. And it swings even more. Now what's happened is this bag is out of control. It's hard for me to control it, especially with the weight of this big guy right here. What you've got to do, rather than hitting the heavy bag when it comes up to you like this, so it swings even more, because this is how I know a novice boxer is a novice boxer, when they're letting it swing like this. Instead, what you've got to do, you've got to hit the heavy bag when it's coming back to you. So I'm here, I'm going to throw that 1-2. You see it's swinging now. When the bag's on its way back to me, like now, I throw 1-2. Look, it stopped it in its tracks there. Now I'm taking control of the bag rather than letting the bag take control of me. And that was just with a simple punch as it's coming to me. It stops in its tracks. It's always going to be swinging, but it's going to be in my control. And when you get used to doing this, it's going to be an absolute game changer when you're hitting the bag. Now, I mentioned this earlier on, is the bag obviously is not going to hit us back. So that's why a lot of people get into bad habits by dropping this hand. If someone was hitting your back and you were throwing a jab at them, you're not going to throw a jab like this, are you? Because they're going to hit your back, they're going to smash you in the face. So visualize that this bag is going to be hitting your back and throwing punches at you. Obviously, it's not, but if you're here and I think, oh, if I drop this hand, I'm going to get hit with a left hook. Or if I drop my jab hand, I'm going to get hit with an overhand right. If I think about that, I'm going to develop good defensive habits by hitting the bag. And as well with the defensive habits, what you can do is work on different defenses. So for example, if I throw a 1-2 and the person in front of me is throwing a hook at my head, I'm going to roll out of the way of that hook. So I'm going to throw a 1-2 and I'm going to do a roll, rolling under that left hook that will be coming straight for my head. So I can practice this on the heavy bag. So it'll be a 1-2, roll, 1-2, roll. Getting used to working on these defensive habits. And you can go through every single defense in boxing. You've got the parry, the slip, slip. You've got the block. You've got the step back. You've got the lean back. You've got the rest of them anyway. I don't think off the top of my head. But yeah, we've got a lot of different defenses. The parry, right? Yeah, you've got lots of different defenses. You can work on all of them when you're hitting the heavy bag. It's going to develop great defensive habits. Now, before we get on to the footwork stuff, I want to talk about the hook, because this is a hard punch to throw on a heavy bag. You see, when we learn how to throw the hook, we throw a nice 1-2, and then we throw the hook here. But if we did that on a heavy bag, throw that nice 1-2, I'm going to be out of range to land that hook on the bag. So what we've got to do to land a great, solid, clean hook on the bag, we've got to shorten our cross. So we do that by thinking about bringing our shoulder forward with that punch when we throw it. So it'll be a 1-2. You see, I've brought my shoulder forward. I've put the weight on my front foot. The back heel's off the ground. Now I'm in range to really whip in that hook. So think about this when you're throwing the 1-2 hook or the 2 hook on the heavy bag. So again, I'm here, put myself in range by throwing that short right hand. Now, that being said, when you're throwing a 1-2 on its own, you want to fully extend that right hand. I always remember there was this old-timer boxing coach. He was about 90 years old. And he seen me on the heavy bag and I was like this. And I'm throwing me punches like that. I don't think, he said, Tony, I don't think you know the importance of fully extending your arm when you throw the punch. He said, when you do it, it is way, way, way stronger. And I was like, okay. And he went, here's an example. If I give you a pencil and tell you to snap that pencil, how would you snap it? I was like, this? Easy. You went, okay. Yeah, because you're bending it. Just think about the bend in your arm. He said, now, if I give you a pencil and said, I want you to snap that pencil by putting your hand either side of it and pushing, trying to snap that straight pencil, could you do it? And I was like, no, impossible. He said, because the pencil is way stronger when it's straight. Now, this is the same with your punches. This is the same with your arms. If you fully extend your punch, it's going to be way stronger than you not fully extending that punch. And that really stuck with me for a long time, and hopefully it'll stick with you the next time you're throwing them straight punches. Now let's talk about the next thing that a lot of people neglect when they're on the heavy bag or when they're boxing these days. I see this all the time on social media, especially with mitt work. They'll be there and they'll be throwing these million punch combinations with all of the slips and the rolls and all that Floyd Mayweather BS. And you're forgetting about the most important thing in boxing, which is your feet. And people tend to do this on the heavy bag as well. They'll be standing in one space all the time for the full round, just blasting here, not working on your feet. But why? This is a game changer for anyone who wants to get better at boxing. Working on footwork, you can do this great on the bag. And I'm going to show you some drills with this bag swinging. But first I want to talk about the right way of using your feet when you're on the bag and the wrong way as well. So when you're moving to your left, you always want to move your left foot first. When you're moving to your right, you always want to move your right foot first. This has always put me in the position to throw the punches. If I move to my left and I move my right foot first, now I'm off balance and I can't throw punches. Same if I move to my right with my left foot first, I'm crossing my feet here. And I don't want to be boxing like this, do I? You don't want to be boxing like that anyway. Always moving in the right direction. And when you are landing, you always want to land on the balls of your feet. If you land on the ball of your foot, this is only going to help you move even smoother when you are moving around and helping keep you in them positions to throw the punches. Now, one of the most common mistakes I see on a heavy bag is this. See what I'm doing there? Bringing the feet together. Happens all the time. I remember when I started boxing, I would see everyone in my gym in Sunderland ABC doing this and they're bringing the feet together. I actually thought that's what you had to do because everyone was doing it. The coaches weren't telling us, keep your feet apart. Again, it's because we're on the bag and it's not hitting us back. But if you're doing this, you're developing bad habits. Instead, when you're moving back, look how much better this looks. Because I'm always in a position. And I'm not using any more energy than I am from doing this, but for some reason, people are getting into these habits like this. Instead, looks better, right? Looks a lot better. And I can whip in them punches when I come back in because I can move in faster because my feet's not together. Now a couple of drills that you can do with a swinging heavy bag. So I'm going to swing it. And here, I'm going to be moving my feet in and out. Keeping that range. You know the range that I told you about at the beginning? Now I've got that range all the time. So I'm always in a position to throw the punches whenever I want. Great for footwork, great for moving. So now what we can do is a drill where we're going to get used to moving and punching at the same time. To move and punch, you've got to make sure that your foot and your hand is landing at the same time. So if I'm stepping forward with a 1-2, you see my feet land the same time as the punches. One more time. And that's what we're going to do with the swinging heavy bag. So I'm going to be here, I'm going to be getting that range. Step, step, and move them back. Step, step, move them back. Remember what I said about being in the gym and having the heavy bag swinging everywhere? You know, you should never do that. What I've just showed you, if you've got a gym full of people, you know, you're going to look like a bit of a dick. And you don't want to look like a bit of a dick. I don't want you to see the people.
Well, I seen that Tony Jeffries on YouTube, and he was doing this, so I'm going to do this. Because you're going to make me look like a dick. And we don't want to look like dick, do we?
So do it when the gym is empty, but get used to moving and punching. Now once you've done it going forward, you can do it going forwards and backwards. So I'm going to swing the bag in the empty gym. Remember that empty gym? Now I'm here. Now I'm punching. I'm moving at the same time. With the 1-2s, And the jabs, you can throw the jabs only. Double jab, triple jab, as many as you want. Great little drill that you can do, and it's also going to help increase your heart rate, even more so than standing there working on these punches. When you're moving your feet as well, you're going to increase your heart rate and burn more calories as well. Some advanced things that you can do with your feet. Now, the first one is working on feints. A feint is when you pretend to do something and you do something else, or you don't do anything at all. So we can feint with our feet on the bag, and it'll look like this without the bag. So I'm here, I'm in front. You see what I did? I pretended that I was stepping and throwing a punch, and I didn't throw the punch. I'm here. Now you can do this on the bag. Again, this is advanced. So, you know, if you're still struggling with moving around the heavy bag, you don't have to do this yet. I just wanted to add it to this video. Now, when I'm on the heavy bag and I'm moving around and I do a feint, see? It makes me look even more better, like I know what I'm doing. So I'm feint, then throw the punches. I'm here feinting. My feet's always working. Feint, throwing them punches. Now we're going to talk about the advanced punches and combinations that you can do when you're on the heavy bag, before we get into the nice stuff that I love the most, which is working inside. Now, some people don't like the heavy bags because you can't throw uppercuts on a heavy bag, but actually you can. There's two ways of being able to do it. I'm going to show you both ways. And then also I want to work on something that is very advanced, which is a pivot hook on the heavy bag. And then we'll get into the advanced combinations. So an uppercut. If I'm standing in front of you, this is a rear uppercut. I'm throwing that punch and turning it, and it's coming up through the middle. If you see this from the side, it's coming from my face. I'm throwing it, it's coming up. And the goal with this, if it was in a fight, would be to go, you know, through your opponent's guard right there. So because the heavy bag hasn't got a target like this for me to hit, like a water ball has got, you think that you can't throw them, but you can. You can throw them two ways. The first way is throw the uppercut the same way, but rather than coming straight up the middle like this, you can just throw this punch forward like this. And it'll look like here. That's an uppercut there. Again. Yes, we're not coming up and through, but we still throwing that punch just about exactly the same, apart from we going forward, which actually is a punch as well in boxing. The only time you want to really go directly up is if you're inside and you're close, and it will go up there. Other than that, throwing your punch out, your uppercut out like this, is the way to do it. And that's what we're doing there. Talking about the second way of throwing the uppercut, which is a short range uppercut. If you're inside here, like a little Mike Tyson when he was inside and he would blast up that rear uppercut. We can throw it, but we don't even have to hit the heavy bag. So I'm inside, I can throw it, and then come back with my next punch, which is going to be a hook. And it looks like this. So I'm here, still getting used to throwing it, going through the motions, the right technique, then whipping in that punch after. So that's a method there if you want to try the close range uppercut. Now the next punch is a pivot hook. Love this punch. Pivot hook is I'm going to whip my back foot around, change the angles, but I'm going to put my lead hand on the front of it to make it into a pivot hook like this. And I'm going to show you on the bag doing it static, and then I'm going to show you the more advanced way of doing it with the moving bag. So I'm here, static. What I'm going to do, I'm going to step with my front foot to create a little bit of space, and then I'm going to whip my back foot around with my lead hand on the end of it like that. So I'm here, pivot hook, and that's a pretty hard punch. One more time, I'm going to step and throw it. As the punch lands, the back foot lands on the ground. Here it is here. Now, the more advanced way of doing it, the way that I love to do it on the bag. If that bag is swinging, like this, not in the full gym, remember, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be moving forward, moving back, moving forward, moving back. When the timing's right, I'm going to do that little step and then throw the pivot hook and change my full angle. So I'm here, I'm going to be moving forward, here, step, whipping in that hook. Now look at this, I'm in a completely different position where if this was a fight, I could blast forward and, you know, throw them punches and break them down and punch them all over the ring. So now talking about advanced combinations, I'll show you a couple of small ones, then I'll get more longer with these combos. The first one, let's just put them two punches together, right? The uppercut and the pivot hook. Very advanced combination, but I'm going to throw the uppercut where I land it, and then from there, I'm going to whip in that pivot hook. But what I'm going to do differently this time, as I step with my front foot, I'm going to throw that back uppercut there. The punch in the foot lands at the same time. This is going to put me in the perfect position for that boom, boom, that pivot hook. Here it is here on the bag. I'm going to be in close. I'll start off static. I'm here, step, pivot hook. A little bit faster, a little bit more real here. So I'm here, Oh, beautiful combination. Now we've got that one figured out, we can start talking about other ones. I didn't even have that one planned to put in there, but I just wanted to add it in. So, some more advanced combinations, some longer combinations. What I love to do on the bag is throw the punches, use me feet for defense by changing angles and come back with other punches. So, advanced combo here, I'm going to start for the 1-2. I'm going to sidestep, change that angle. I'm going to come back with a 2. Then I'm going to throw a couple of hooks to the body. Love this combo. That's an advanced one there. I can show you 100 different advanced combinations, but I'm not going to. I'll show you a couple more. But what I want you to do is think about combinations when you're on the heavy bag, but make sure that they are realistic. Again, I'm going to pick on these people on social media. You probably know who they are, who's doing all of the terrible mitt work stuff. These combinations and this mitt work is not realistic. What I've just done there is realistic. This would work in a ring. Again, even if you're not planning on fighting, it's always good to do the realistic stuff, right? What I did, I threw a 1-2. He's counter-punching with his jab on me. I've sidestepped. His jabs went across there. I've come back with the right hand to the head, then 2 hooks to the body. A realistic combo. When you're building your own combinations, make sure that they are realistic. Make sure that you're thinking of every step of this combination makes sense. So another example is I'm going to throw a jab to the head, then a right hand to the body. If I throw a jab to the head and right hand to the body, what is the person going to do in front of me? Well, the chances are he's going to drop his hands and they're going to come down and cover his body. Well, that's going to leave him open for the left hook. So it's going to be a jab, cross, hook. Again here. Now, when I'm doing this combination, I've got to close the distance with the hook, like we've already spoke about earlier on. So I throw the jab, the right hand, bringing my shoulder forward, coming closer to the bag so I can land that hook. Bah, bah, bah. Now from there, let's add on to this combination. Let's make this a really long advanced combination. Jab the head, right hand the body, hook to the head. His hands have come up. They've went down. Now I've hit him with a hook to the head. They've come up. From there, because I love this next double punch, I'm going to throw 2 hooks to the body. So it's going to be a bah, bah, bah. Slip inside, double hook to the body. Bah, bah, bah. Slip inside, double hook to the body. Again, I'm making this up as I go along. That's a long combination. Now what can I throw after that double hook to the body? Well, if they think that arms have come down here, I could go back upstairs, but let's stay downstairs with a rear hook to the body. So I went, bah, bah. I'm going to whip in that rear hook to the body. Let's add that one on. So it's a jab, right hand, left hook, double hook to the body, whipping that one right hand in there, the body. Then I'm going to come up with a hook to the head as well. Another hook. That's lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hooks in a row. So again, I'm here, bah, 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 bah. Now from there, I'll throw out a hook. I've put the weight on my back foot. Oh, mate. Straight down the pipe with the right hand. Building up even more. So we've got the... Oh, how many is that? Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 8-punch combination. Let's add a little sidestep on this, shall we? Little sidestep. Then we're going to come out with a 2 hook 2. Let's turn this 8 punches into 11 punches. So we're there. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, 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 bah. Sidestep. Bah, bah, bah. Oh, mate, look at that. Now what we can do a roll with a 2, a step back, stepping back in with a 2, 1, 2, to follow up with a double jab, slip, 2, hook 2, roll, step back. We could, but I'm not fit enough to do all of that. I just want to show you how to build on realistic combinations. You can build your own combinations. Just think about the next step and does it make sense when you're on the bag for this to happen. There's thousands of real combinations. Just make sure you're keeping them real every single time you're hitting the bag. But how do you know if what you're doing is correct? Because you might not have a coach. You might have a coach and the coach is one of these guys who's on his phone all the time. My worst type of coaches. I can't stand them coaches. Or you might have a coach who's really good, but he's in a gym and there's like 10, 20, 30 people, and there's that many people, he can only give you 10 seconds or 20 seconds of advice during each round, which would probably be good advice. And you want to try and stick to that, but also we need more than this. How to work inside on the heavy bag. Because this is my favorite thing to do for a number of reasons. One, it's realistic, and every single fight you would ever get into in a boxing match always ends up close inside, so you know exactly what to do because you've been working on this good stuff here. And another thing is the combinations that you can build from being inside and throwing these great punches is endless as well. I love the combinations of working inside. So how to do this? Well, before I talk about being inside and throwing these punches, I want to talk about how to get inside of the bag, because a lot of people will forget about this. And really not think about the realistic scenario of getting your feet inside to throw the punches. It'll just probably be like this. Walk under the bag and then throwing the punches. See what I did there? Walked. Shouldn't be doing this. Instead, I want to be out of range. I want to throw a feint, get my feet inside. Now I'm inside. Now I can throw the punches. A couple of things when you are working inside in a heavy bag. You want to have loose knees here. You might have heard coaches in the past say have bent knees, but you don't want to be bending like this with your butt sticking out like this. No, it's not good. Instead, you want to have these loose knees here. That's going to help you, give you a great base on your feet and have that great balance to be able to really whip in them punches. And obviously you want to be up close to the bag here. Now you can still throw straight punches from here, even though they're really short. And this was what I used to love to do when I was in fights. I would throw little tapping shots up here to get the person's hands to come up and then whipping the body shots there. But you can still do this. So I'm inside, I can touch up here, I can throw the hooks around the side, then whipping down the body like that. But the way you get better at this is by practicing it. Now, I've got tons of drills on my master boxing course, but one of them that you can do, I'll give you it right now, is where you're going to get a resistance band and you're going to put it around your body. Now, when you're doing this is keeping you close to the bag at all times. And it's uncomfortable when you've got this band around your body, but we want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And when you're up close like this, you've got to be able to learn how to turn your hips and really whip in these punches. So I'm up close like this. If I had the band around us, this can't move. So I've got to get comfortable from here, throwing like powerful short arm punches. And when you do that drill with the bag, which I recommend you do, you get comfortable doing that. Now, another thing to think about when you're working inside is also stepping around the bag. So I could throw like a 1-2, hook the body, step around, throw more punches there. And this way I could throw 1-2, stepping around and throw punches. You don't have to stand still and just keep throwing punches over and over again in the same spot. No, we want to get used to moving around the bag as well. And this is only going to help your inside game get even better. Now, one last thing I want to talk about before I give you the workout that you can do on the heavy bag is just because you're working inside doesn't mean it's got to be body punches all the time. You should be going from body to head to body, or coming inside, going from head to body. Body to head, head, body, body, head, and keep mixing up all the time. But it's important that when you do this, you bring your hands back to your face. Often people will be throwing combinations. See where my hands are? See what's wide open here? My chin. You never want to have your chin wide open. Instead, keep your chin down. I'm here, I've got that bend in my knees. See, I'm bringing my hands straight back to my face. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, talking about your non-punching hand should be up by your face all the time, and that's what you want to be doing when you're working inside. Okay, now it's time for a heavy bag workout that you can do. Oh, see, I told you, no wraps. Even got my wedding ring on. How stupid. Anyway, here's a heavy bag workout. I've got it written down here. I'm going to tell you, you should write this down and you should try it. Now, this heavy bag workout is for stamina, helping you build your stamina. It's going to be 6 3-minute rounds with a 45-second rest. Now, depending on what you would normally do on a heavy bag, this could sound absolutely insanely hard for you if you're doing 2-minute rounds with a 1-minute rest right now. Or if you're a beast and you're doing 3-minute rounds with a 30-second rest right now, this might not sound that hard for you, but let me tell you, my friend, it's good for everyone. So we got 6 3-minute rounds with 45-second rest. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do in each one of the rounds. Round number 1, all you're going to work on is 2 things: straight punches and moving your feet. Moving your feet around the bag. Obviously, you want to be working on good form, good technique, breathing, staying relaxed, all that good stuff that we spoke about at the beginning. I'm not going to talk about that on every single one of these rounds, but you should be doing that. You know that, right? Then after 2.5 minutes of doing that, our last 30 seconds, what we're going to do, we're going to just be working on power punches. I'll get these gloves again to show you. Now, this is going to be for the last 30 seconds of round number 1. And we're not going to do non-stop power punches where it's going to be like, no, we're going to be here. That's an example right there. Every punch there was hard. Oh, at least I think so. And that's what we're going to be working on for that last 30 seconds. Now, going on to round number 2. Oh, I'm going to need my gloves again, aren't I? We're going to work on defense. That doesn't mean we throw no punches. What I want you to do is, after every punch or combination, I want you to think about defense. So if you throw a jab, defend. 1-2 hook, defend. Moving your feet around the bag at all times. And then for the last 30 seconds, what we're going to do, we're going to be doing non-stop punches, but now just light. So I'm light here, see I'm talking. So breathing, staying relaxed. This is going to help you with your stamina in your shoulders. Then let's move on to round number 3. What we're going to work on, we're going to mix round number 1 and number 2 together, but we're going to add on something as well. We're going to be doing straight punches only, then we're going to work on a defense. Then, my friend, we're going to work on a counter punch. A counter punch is when you've defended a punch, you come straight back with a punch of your own. So it might be a 1-2, I've slipped, I've come back over a 2. It might be a 1-1-2 to the body, straight punches. I've stepped back, I'm coming back in with 2 punches for a counter. And then when we get to the end, for the last 30 seconds, all we're going to work on is a 1-2, step, 2-1, step. 1-2, step, 2-1, step. Breathing all the time. I want you to go maximum effort, but at the same time, I want you to focus on good form and technique. I don't want you where it's just like, my form's went out the window. No, it's got to be good form. Every single time. Round number 4, every combination or punch, I want you to finish off with a hook, a lead hook. So if you throw 1-2, you're going to finish with a hook. If you throw a jab, I want you to finish with a hook. Might be advanced, you might have to throw a jab, slip, hook if you're doing that one. If you throw a jab cross the body, we're finishing with a hook. Every combination finishes with a hook. And then on the last 30 seconds of this round, we're going to go back to the non-stop punching. Nice and light. Non-stop, fast, but light. Okay, now moving on to round number 5. This is probably my favorite one. We're going to work on freestyle, but we're focusing on our feet. So freestyle punches, anything you want with the punches, but we're working on good footwork all the time. Remember what I said about never crossing your feet or bringing your feet together? I want that for the full round number 5. Great footwork, freestyle with the punches and the defense. Then for the last 30 seconds, we're going to be working on speed. Before I said light, like this, now we're going absolutely everything you've got working on speed for that last 30 seconds. Now let's talk about round number 6, the final round. We're going to work on 4 punch combinations, but here's the thing. I want a different combination every single time. Now this is going to make your brain work overtime because you're going to be thinking, did I do that combination yet? Have I done that one? Different combination every single time. Now you might think,
Well, there's not that many.
yeah, mate, there is. There's thousands of 4-punch combination variations. Now, my friend, at the end of the round, what I want for the last 30 seconds is everything. Now, I'm not talking about everything we've worked on this video where we're working on pivot hooks and we're working on the uppercut inside. No, mate. I want everything you've got inside of here, out on the heavy bag. You're going to give it your all. This is your sprint. This is going to take you to the next bloody level, mate. I want to tell you a story. I was fighting in the European Union semi-finals against a world silver medalist. This guy was bigger than me. He looked stronger than me. He was from Croatia. First name Mario. He was an absolute beast and he was the favourite to win the European gold medal. But I was up against him and I was confident, even though he was bigger than me. He looked stronger than me. And the first bell went. And what happened was pretty crazy. And even though I had 106 fights in my career, I'll never forget this one. We came out in the first round. I'm here thinking about I'm going to land my jab, I'm going to set up my other punches, and I'm going to take this fight. So we were here like this. And all of a sudden, boom, I got hit with a solid jab. I couldn't believe it. It felt like a cross. It felt like a right hand. It was that hard and it was very fast as well. I thought, bloody hell. So I'm here again. I'm in front of him. Boom, again. I get hit with that jab for the second time. Now I'm 2 points down within the first 20 or 30 seconds of the fight. I had to readjust to everything. Now, rather than me thinking about what I was going to do, he had me thinking about what he was going to do. I couldn't get hit with another one of them jabs. Not only was he scoring points, but it was bloody hurting as well. So now my focuses went from my game plan to keeping out the way of his jab. The fight went on and he didn't hit me with many more of them jabs because I was aware of it. I pushed on. I did very well in the fight, but when the final bell came, he ended up getting the decision and going through to the final of the Europeans. But I learned some very crucial things about throwing the jab. And I'm going to talk all about them on this video and tell you how you can perfect your jab just like I perfected my jab, which helped me go to the Olympic Games and win a medal. Now, no matter what level you're at, whether you're boxing for fitness, for fighting, or even self-defense, you want to perfect your lead hand. You've probably heard the phrase, the jab is the most important punch in boxing. And it certainly is. And when you figure out how to throw it hard, fast, and accurate, like the way I'm going to show you on this video, your full boxing game will go to the very next level. I can guarantee you that. Now, before I show you some of these great techniques of throwing the jab, I need to just talk about why it is the most important punch in boxing. The jab is a phenomenal range finder. It is how you find your range to land other punches. Now, if you think, if I'm here, you can see which hand is closer. My lead hand is closer to the bag. If I can't land my jab, how am I going to land the right hand? Or the lead hook, or the right hand of the body, or the uppercut? I can't really, unless I get my feet right in close, and then that's something different when we talk about setting up different punches with the jab in a little bit. But it's your jab that helps you set up all of your other punches. And when you're in the ring and you learn to throw your jab correctly, this is the punch that not only gets you into range to land them other punches, but it can also get you out of range to get you out of that danger as well. And like I mentioned about the Croatian when I was fighting him, because he was landing this hard, solid jab, it took my game plan away from me. Rather than me thinking about what I was going to do and how I was going to set up my other punches, all I ended up was thinking about was, how the hell am I going to get out of the way of his jab? And this is what I used to do when I was in the ring with my opponents. I could generally tell within the first 30 seconds of the fight if I was going to win or not, or if I was going to be an easy night. Because if I could land my jab cleanly, and then, my friend, I knew it was going to be easy to land the other punches. Now, there's multiple ways and reasons to throw the jab, and knowing when to throw it and what kind of jab to throw it is crucial. And the jab is not just one punch, it's multiple punches, because you can throw it multiple ways, and you should learn how to master them multiple ways. But before we get into the more advanced, let's just talk about the most basic way of throwing the jab. So what you're going to do, you're going to have your hands down here on your knees, and then you're going to flick it out like this. This is the most basic way. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't ever do that. It's bloody stupid. So, the most basic way of throwing the jab, we're here. We're in our boxing stance. We've got that line in between our feet. We always want to have the line in between our feet to keep that solid base, that solid balance. If your feet is on the same line like this right here, our balance is gone and we can't get any rotation into the punches. So you've always got that line in between our feet here. Now from this position here, we've got our hands up high. The right hand's up by the face, elbows in here. Now with your lead hand, you want to have this really relaxed here, just out in front of your face. If you're throwing your jab from your face, from here to there, it's got more distance to travel. If it's got more distance to travel, guess what, my friend? It's going to take longer to get there compared to if I've got it out here, there and back to there. Now you might be thinking,
Well, Tony, if you've got your hand out a little bit, it's leaving you open for your right hand over the top.
and you're right. It is. But for someone to land that right hand over the top, you've got to get their feet close. And if someone's getting their feet close, what do? You go from here to here. Or even better, just step back and they can't get near you. But that's for another video. So right now we're talking about the jab. I want to have this out just a little bit there. Right hand by the face. Left hand out just a little bit here. I've got that line in between the feet. Now the most basic jab, how I'm going to throw this, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure onto that front foot. I'm not going to step forward, but instead I'm going to just put a bit of pressure onto the ball of that foot. And as I do that, I'm going to turn my hip and fully extend my hand and turn it into a jab. Just there. And it's that pressure that's helping me get momentum into the punch. If I didn't put that pressure onto my foot and I just threw it, it's a pretty bad jab. I'm not getting any strength behind it, any speed, any real power behind it compared to putting that pressure on the ball of the foot. There. And two more things that I've never mentioned that I'm doing right there. One, you might have heard it, I'm exhaling as I throw that punch. Rather than what a lot of beginners do and hold the breath. If you hold your breath when you're throwing that punch, it's going to make the punch slower and the technique is not going to be as good and you're going to get tired fast. So you always want to be exhaling as you do it. Now, the other thing that I'm doing, I'm turning my hand on the end. Now, some trainers teach throwing a jab without turning the hand on the end straight down like this. I find that if I do this, I'm going to hyperextend my elbow straight away, and it's not as strong compared to if I turn my fist at the end. This is engaging all the muscles around my elbow, and it's making the jab even stronger rather than this here, which feels like crap. So you want to turn it at the end as it's coming out. Now, one more thing is your fist. Should you have a loose fist or should you have a tight fist? Well, this is another thing that a lot of coaches will disagree with me on, but I don't care because I know that I'm bloody right. Not really. Some people have got different opinions on it. Now, I even heard one of the greatest fighters of all time, Sugar Ray Leonard, disagreeing with me on this. What he said is you should have a loose fist all the way until impact, then have a tight fist, then punch. Where what I believe is you should have a tight fist here. Still staying relaxed, but a tight fist here just before you throw the punch. Not a tight fist all the time when you're moving around. Your hands should be loose. But just before you throw that punch, a tight fist, then punch it. Now, I want to give you my reason why I disagree with Sugar Ray Leonard on that. And it is, if I was, let's just say, in the ring with you, and you'd never knocked me out yet, because I know you're a beast, and you probably could do that. But if I was in the ring with you, and I had a loose fist here, and I did what some coaches say, where I throw it, and my goal is to, on impact, tighten my fist and land. What if I'm throwing it out, and just before it lands, you move your head, and it hits me hand while it's loose? What's that going to do? If I land a punch with a loose fist, this is going to injure me hand. I don't want to injure me hand, mate. Not again. I've done it many times. It's what made me retire from boxing. So instead, that's why you can have tight fists. Like right now, my fist is really tight, but I'm super relaxed. Then throw the punch. Now, I'm getting carried away there, but this is the basic way of throwing the punch, and you should definitely perfect how to throw it. Quick recap. You want to put the pressure on the ball of your foot as you're throwing that jab. You want to stay relaxed. You want to have your lead hand off your face just a little bit, your right hand by your face just a little bit. You want to do a tight fist before the punch comes out. You're going to turn your fist at the end as you're going to throw it. And as well, let's not forget to breathe and exhale as we do that. So when you're doing it, it will look like this. Oh, one more thing, bring it straight back to your face. You don't want to throw it and bring it back down there, because that's when you open for that overhand right counter. So you throw it and bring it back to your face. Now practice this, because if you can't throw it correctly this way, the more advanced ways that we're going to get into in a little bit, it's going to make it even harder to throw it that way. So throw it the basic way, and then when it comes to the more advanced way, punching and moving like you're going to get into, it's going to make it a lot better for you. So now let's talk about advancing this basic way a little bit. There is ways where we can keep it basic, but we can enhance the speed even more. One way of doing that is by putting your hand out even further. Like I mentioned, if the hand is here, it's traveling from there to there. But now what if the hand was out here even further? Now it's only traveling from here to here. And it'll look like this. Yes, it's not as hard. Yes, you're leaving yourself more open, but yes, you're going to get there faster, and it's going to be a much faster punch. And right now we're talking about speed rather than power. So it's definitely worth trying it, as long as when you're bringing it back, you're bringing it back up here, and you're not going to throw it from there and bring it back down there, or that would be dangerous and you would look pretty silly. So that's one way of improving the speed. Now, the next way of improving the speed is by thinking about speed. Now, this is not obvious. It might sound obvious. Well, yeah, you know, if I want to punch faster, I've just got to think, yeah, I need to punch faster. No, mate. You've got to really think about it and really focus on the speed of the punch. I mean, where you're at the point where it's like, yeah, this is going to be the fastest punch I've ever threw. And you're not just throwing it out fast, you're thinking about bringing it back fast. So I'm here thinking about, yeah, the punch is going to go out fast, it's going to come back fast. And when I think about speed, you can see, think and focus and speed. The the speed increases, because that's all I'm thinking about. Now, there is a couple more things that you can do to increase the speed, and I'll talk about them when I'm talking about the advanced way of throwing the jab, because it is the more advanced way of doing it. But if you didn't get anything else from this video, you've got some great value right there. And if you want to pause the video, work on that stuff and come back to the video, I recommend that's also great as well. But what I would recommend you to do is watch the rest of the video, write notes down as you're watching this, and then when you go to the gym, read them notes back, and that right there will help you memorize it and get these things into your brain. So before we get on to the advanced ways of throwing the jab, let's just talk about how it sets up other punches. But if you think I'm there, I'll throw that fast jab, it's landed. Now I can think, well, if that one's going to land, this one will land as well. And then I can throw the fast 1-2. Again, then once you've threw that 1-2, it's kind of setting you up for that hook as well. Or that 1-2, the hook the body. Or that 1-2-1. Or that 1-2 sidestep 2. All of these are coming from throwing that great jab. So now I'll show you how to throw a slightly more advanced jab. And then I'll get into how to throw it moving forwards and backwards, which is crucial no matter what level you're at, that you can move and punch at the same time. Because after all, that's boxing, right? We're not just standing there punching like this. We're moving forwards and we're moving backwards. So knowing how to do that and knowing how to drill it is important. This more advanced way of throwing the jab, I'll show you it and then we can talk about it. So here it is. If you notice how much the bag's swinging there. Did you see what I did? I increased the power quite a bit on that. I'll do it again. See if you can notice how I'm doing this, how I'm increasing the power. Yeah, see that? Well, what I'm not doing is having my hand out here for the speed punch. I'm not doing that. I'm throwing the hand all the way from here and it's coming all the way out. But that's not how I'm getting the power in it. The way I'm getting the power in it is by getting my weight behind the punch. And the way I'm getting my weight behind the punch, here it is again. You see? I'm not just stepping on the spot, but I'm pushing forward with my front foot as I do it. But I'm doing it in a way where I'm not just stepping and punching like a lot of coaches teach. I'm actually moving into the step as I throw this punch, which is crucial to be able to do it this way. So what a lot of people will see is step and punch. Now, if I step and punch, that's stepping and punching. The uneducated eye, that might be like, well,
Tony, that's a good jab. It's solid, it's fast, it's hard.
yes, it is pretty good, but I'm not moving into the punch, into the bag, into the power, into the, it should be a little rap song. Move into it. When you're thinking about it like this, yeah, it's going to really help you. So I'm here, I'm moving forward, I'm pushing forward with that step, not stepping down, stepping forward into it. And when I do that, it's getting the momentum of my full body weight behind that punch, which is increasing the power in that punch. And just watch right now my foot when I do this, and watch how much this big, massive, rare breed heavy bag will move when I do it. So I'm here. Now, what I'm not doing is pushing. When I tell people to do this in the first try it, they'll push. So it's not like a push like that. No, I'm still snapping that punch out hard, but because I'm exploding into it with that forward step, that's where the power comes. Look at that, how much it's swinging. Again, big, massive, heavy bag. And that is what the Croatian did with me when the fight started. We were here, bam! So hard, so fast, and that bag was my power head at the time. So that's how you get more power into that single jab. And when you're doing it that way, you could also put the 2 behind it as well. And this will increase the power into the 1-2. If you think I'm stepping forward with that 1 and the jab, I'm going to bring my back foot forward. Boom, boom. And that's how I get serious power into the 1-2. I'll show you a couple of times in the bag. First time, make sure you focus on my feet. It's here. Look at the swing in there, even more. This time, focus on my hands and my feet at the same time. Step, step. I'm stepping twice as I punch twice. Whoa, mate, look at that. Swinging everywhere. So now I'm going to talk about moving forward with the jab, and then the even harder version, moving back as you throw the jab. Now you might think, well, I've just showed you how to step forward with the jab, with that power jab, but this is different. When you're stepping forward with the power jab like we just showed, You're moving into it with the punch, but you're going to bring your foot back. You're not overcommitting by bringing both feet forward. But when you're moving forward and you're throwing the jab, if you were in the ring with someone who was moving back, this is different. This time we're going to bring our back foot with us. So I'll show you here, then I'll swing the bag and I'll show you what I mean on the bag. So I'm here in this boxing stance position. I'm going to step with my front foot on the jab, and then my back foot will follow. See, I've moved forward. Now I'm in the exact same boxing stance here as I was when I was there. Again, I'm here. Same boxing stance. What you don't want to do, which is something that I see, you'll step forward and then you're bringing your feet together like this. Bad position to be in. Or you'll step forward with this one and you'll keep your feet too wide apart. You want to be in the exact same boxing stance position as you are here after you've threw it, so you're here. So you're bringing both feet in as you're throwing that jab. One more time, I'm here. Now look at that. I'm in the perfect position. So a good drill for this on the heavy bag is push the heavy bag. This is good to do at first while you're getting used to moving and throwing this jab. And not only is this good for moving and jabbing at the same time, but it's also good for timing, because you've got to time it right. I can't try and step forward as the bag's there or it's going to be awful. You've got to time it right. Like an opponent. If an opponent was moving away, that's when you're going to step forward. So I'm here, I'm going to find the right timing as it's going away. Then I'm jabbing and I'm coming back. I'm there, bringing both feet. I'm coming back, bringing both my feet in. I'm out of range. Move forward, jabbing. Move forward, jabbing. So as you notice, when I am doing this, I'm bringing both my feet with it. So I'm here, bringing both my feet forward. You want to keep your feet under you. What people tend to do as well is overreach, where like this, which is a bad position. I never want to be in this position here. You need to keep your feet underneath you. Then once you've done that with the single jab, then you can throw the double jab, more advanced. I'm moving back. Now, one thing I want to see about this, if you're in a gym full of people, don't do this. It'll look pretty silly. You shouldn't be letting your bag swing everywhere like that. I'm showing you this for this drill's sake. It's funny when you might see people in the gym where this bigger bag will be swinging like this, and as it comes back, they'll be like, aha, the bag's swinging more, aha, and they're just totally losing control of the bag. We're doing this purely to drill moving and punching at the same time. We're not doing it to make us think that we're macho men and we're punching the bag that hard that it's swinging so much. So yeah, don't be doing that in a gym full of people. As you've seen, it hit that ball there. If there was someone on that ball there and your bag swinging like that, mate, you're going to look like a dick. I don't want you to say to that person, well, Tony Jeffries told me to do this on his YouTube video and blame me for you looking like a dick. So just be aware of your surroundings when you're doing this. So let's move on to throwing this as we're going backwards. What we're going to do now, we're going to swing the bag again. Unless Peter, your mate, is on this bag there and he's going crazy right now at you for swinging the bloody bag, thinking, look at this bloody idiot. So yeah, we're not going to swing it if Peter is on there absolutely raging and wanting to start fighting with you, but we're going to do it if we've got the space to do it. You get what I'm saying, mate? So the bag is swinging there. Look, I'm going to come forward and come back. Just getting used to moving like this. A great footwork drill. Now this is before I'm even throwing any punches. If you can't do this, finding my range as I'm doing this, you're never going to be able to jab and move with the bag. So I'm here, look at my feet. My feet's apart all the time. Now what's important about this, having your feet apart all the time, and I dive deep onto that on my master boxing course, is it's always putting you in a position to throw punches. So because my feet is here, I'm always in a position to throw punches rather than what we see often. I'm sure you've seen this as well, where people will come forward, then they'll bring the feet together in this position. Tell me your worst position in this, other than this. So let's get used to moving forwards and backwards. Obviously, we've got our hands up here. And now when you're doing this, that's when we're going to jab and move backwards. But you've got to do it in a way where you're doing it correctly. Like we've just went over. When you move forward, you're moving your front foot and jabbing at the same time. But this time, we're going to do it the opposite way. We're going to move our back foot and jab. And then move your front foot out. So it's back foot with your jab, and then you're going to move your back foot back into position, and you're back in your perfect boxing stance position. Again, we're here, back foot jab, and then bringing it in. I'm bringing it in like this. Because now we're in the position to throw any more punches. So now when I do it with the bag swinging, See the bag swinging? I'm going to get used to getting in that rhythm, finding my range. The range is there. The range is there. Back foot jab. Finding the range. Got my perfect range here. The back foot's going to come back. I'm going to throw that jab at the same time. And it'll look like this. So I'm here, following the bag forward, coming back. And now I'm in the perfect position to throw more punches. Again, I'm going to swing that bag. It's swinging. I'm going to follow it up. Come back. Bam. And that's moving backwards with it. When I'm talking about moving forwards and backwards when you're throwing this jab, you can always follow up with the 2. I showed you the stepping forward with the 1, 2. The same thing applies with when you're moving back. You can step back with your back foot and front hand, and then as your front foot comes, bang, you're going to blast in that backhand. So it will look like this, swinging the bag, we're there, coming forward, coming back, getting used to that rhythm. If you can't get this, you're never going to get the punches off. We're there, I'm coming forward, coming back, bang, bang. And then back in the stance. One more time, coming forward, as I'm coming back, bang, bang. And that boxing stance right there. Now I've just moved forward and back with the jab, and then I've added the 2 on as well. Way more advanced. Now I just want to see you can have a fast jab, you can have a powerful jab, but that doesn't mean that you're going to land the jab. I want to give you some tips and tricks on how to land it. The best way to land the jab on any punch is by being unpredictable. I've just told you, the jab is the most important punch in boxing. It's the punch that's thrown most in boxing. So if it's through the most times in boxing, we know that them's going to throw the bloody jab, right? So that's why we've got to make it unpredictable. How do you do that? Well, there's a couple of ways of doing it, but my favorite way of doing it is by feinting, throwing a fake jab. If you're throwing a fake jab, and then a real jab, and then a fake jab, then a fake jab, then a real jab, then a real jab, they don't know when it's going to come. But there's correct ways and wrong ways of throwing a feint jab. For example, if you're throwing a fake jab, and you're like this, like, no, mate, that's going to be too predictable. Instead, what you've got to do to make your jab less predictable is by throwing the perfect feint. And how you throw the perfect feint is by doing everything that you would do if you were going to throw a jab, but without the jab on the end. So, example, if I'm going to throw a jab, I'm here. What I'm doing, I'm stepping, I'm pushing forward like we talked about earlier on. My arm is coming from my face, coming all the way out, and I'm throwing that jab back. So I want to do all of that, but without the jab on the end. And what it would look like would be this. So I'm even breathing, I'm stepping, my hand's moving a little bit. The person in front of me thinks I'm going to throw that jab, but I'm not. Now what's important though when you do this, let's just say you've perfected your feint jab. What you've got to do then is do something else. I've been in the ring before with people that have got a great feint, they'll be here before feint, and I'll believe it, but they've never capitalized on it, they've never come back with more punches. So if you've got someone believing your feint, it's then when you've got to go back at them with more punches, rather than waiting and just like, haha, he believed in me feint. Because feinting doesn't score you points, it just keeps them thinking. So that's one way of being less predictable with the jab, by being here, feinting and then throwing it. I'm here, I'm throwing the jab. I'm here, I'm throwing the jab. I'm here, he thinks I'm going to throw the jab, feint the jab, then throw the jab. Feint, then go. Now the other way of being less predictable by throwing this jab or by any other punch is by moving before and after every single punch. What I see often, and I used to do this all the time, is I'd be here, bang, jabbing, bang, I'm jabbing, feinting, jabbing. Compare that, let's do a side-by-side comparison of this one where I'm moving all the time, and you can see I'm moving my head, I'm moving my feet, I'm moving my hands, keeping the person in front of me thinking all the time. Now when he's thinking all the time, he's not knowing what's going to come. This is making me way less more predictable than you can see compared to the standard way what everyone does. And as well, when you get in habits of doing it this way, you get used to doing it, you condition your body to do it, so you're doing it in a way where you're not burning way too much energy. And that right there is how you'll be able to land your new perfect jab. There are thousands of different combinations that you can throw in boxing.
And is trying to bring it into the knife of Medina. What a punch! And down goes.
But if you master the 4 advanced combinations that I'm going to give you on this video, you can literally master any combination in boxing. And if you can master the defense move that I'm going to give you at the end as well, you will definitely level up in boxing. But first, before I break down the 4 combinations, I want to test your boxing knowledge and your eyes. I'm going to throw 3 different 5-punch combinations on the bag with speed, and I want you to try and see what the combinations are. First combination. Oh, do you see what it was? Let's do it again. I threw 1, 2 to the head, but it was a short 2, so I could get my body in range to throw that double hook to the body, and then bringing my arm back to throw that single hook to the head. 1, 2, hook, hook, bah! Lovely combo. Next combo. Oh, again, I love that. Ba, 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 ba. Lovely combo. What I did, I threw a jab the head, hoping my opponent's hands would come up. Then I blasted in that 2 to the body, his hands come down, then I went with a hook, 2, hook. That was the 5-punch combination. Ba, 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 ba. Next combo. Ba, 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 ba. Another great combination. I'm throwing a 1, 2 hook, and from that hook, I'm going down to the 2 to the body, then coming straight back up with a jab to the head, changing my levels. But which combinations would be the ones that you should perfect? Because it's none of them ones. Now, if you notice, some world-class fighters have some great combinations where they really fluster their opponents and then often knock them out.
Pacquiao backs him up, attacks the body again, comes upstairs to the head. Tyson moves in for the kill. 2 uppercuts to the left hand. Thomas trying to hold on. Serious trouble, and down he goes.
So by perfecting these next 3 combinations and the defense on the end, you will be able to throw any combination with ease and speed and power. Number 1 is just going to be head punches. Number 2 and 3, we're going to mix up head and body. And this right here is a Manny Pacquiao 9-punch combination. Just watch this.
Time for Pacquiao if he can find the right time. Oh, and a beautiful combination. Down goes Morales. Oh!
So the best way to think about this combination is in 3 parts. 1, 2, hook 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. That will help you memorize it. And then once you can memorize them 3 combinations, put them together, it'll be a 1, 2, hook 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we can go full speed. And it'll look like this, not as fast as Pacquiao. Now, when you're throwing combinations, especially this long, you always want to do it slowly before you try and do it fast. Because if you can't do it with good form slowly, you're never going to be able to do it with good form fast. And you might be thinking, well, yes, that's Manny Pacquiao throwing these combinations. I'm not Manny Pacquiao, and I get that. But it's always good to throw big, long combinations like this, just to get into habits of being able to throw multiple punches at the same time. And when you add in the double jab in that combination after the 1, 2, hook 2, the 2's come back to the face, your double jab 2's going to come out. What that does right there, it only helps improve your double jab. Because think about it, if you can throw a good double jab in the middle of a combination like that, how are you going to be able to throw a double jab not in the combination? Much better. And when you are trying to throw this for speed, think about the sound of the punches. Ba, 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 ba. When you're thinking about the sound of the punches before you throw the punches, it will really help with the speed, the timing, and the rhythm of the punches. Next combination. So what I've done there, I started the combo off the same as the Manny Pacquiao combination with the 1, 2, hook 2 to the head. But what I did, my last 2 was a short arm punch, and I kind of brought my head forward with it a little bit. This now puts me in the position to finish the combination off with the 3 hooks to the body. So it's a 1, 2, hook 2, 3 hooks to the body. Ba, 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 ba. Now for me, my favorite thing about this combination is how you finish it with that triple hook to the body. Just blasting in that triple lead hook to the body is going to really help improve your hook. Now when you add on the end of this combination, that defense move I'm going to give you at the end, mate, game changer. Now the third combination. Mate, what a combination that one was. So what I did, I threw that jab, jab 2. Ideally, if this was in a fight scenario, I would be throwing that combination to push someone back, to get them onto the ropes. Then, what I did, after I threw that 2, I brought this back, and then I dropped to 4 hooks to the body. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from there, I bring this back to my face, throw that lead hook, followed by the 2. Then I'm going to do a defensive move, which is a side step, and finish the combination off with another 2 right there. Now this is a very advanced combination. Now it's time for me to show you what I think is the best defense in boxing, especially to add on to these long combinations. Now, it's not a slip, which is a great defense. If someone's throwing a straight punch at you, to slip out the way of. It's not the roll. If someone's throwing a bent arm shot at you, you know, rolling is good, but if you're rolling, you're still in range to get hit. It is not the parry, because if you try and parry and someone is throwing a feint, it's going to leave you open for the hook around the side. It is not the lean back. Now, the lean back is a great defense, because if someone punches you when you're leaning back, the chances are that it's going to take the sting out of the punch. If you see Muhammad Ali on this picture right here, he was great at the lean back. But what it is, can you guess? Well, it is this. Did you see it? Maybe you didn't, because it was that fast. If you watch again in slow motion, I threw the punches and I've stepped back with both my feet. And if you're adding the step back on after any combination, that's bringing you out of range to be able to get hit. And as well, it makes you look great while you're doing it. And as well, if you keep your feet apart while you do this, it puts you in range to be able to throw any counter punches you want. On this video, I'm going to show you how to pivot like a master in boxing. And also, I'm going to show you how to add on the hook to the pivot so you can throw a perfect pivot hook. Now, this is something I had so much success with in my career, being able to throw this pivot hook, not only going forwards, but going backwards as well, and using it as a perfect counter punch. Now, when you learn how to master this like the way I'm going to show you, you can do it on the heavy bag. You can do it if you've got one of these fellas right here. You can do it on the mitts, in shadow boxing, in sparring, and then if you fight, you can do it in a fight as well, which I highly recommend. But before we get into the fine details of being able to do it like a pro the next time you go to the gym, I just want to talk about your boxing stance, because if you haven't got your boxing stance solid and correct, there's no way you're going to be able to pivot and pivot hook, moving forwards and backwards and side to side like the way I'm going to show you. So let's talk about your boxing stance. You want to have your, obviously, feet apart. You've got a line in between your feet, 1 foot on one side, 1 foot on the other side. You never want to have your feet on the same line like this, or you'll never be able to pivot hook. So you've got that line in between your feet. You've got loose knees here. Now, I've heard lots of coaches in the past say you need to have bent knees, which, yes, your knees have got a little bit of bending, but I don't want you to have bent knees where you're like this. And then you're moving around and you kind of look like a crab, right? We don't want this. We want them loose knees here. So you're there, line in between your feet, loose knees, and you're putting the pressure on the balls of your feet. You don't want to have your weight 50-50 between your heels and toes. You want to have more like 70% of the weight is on your toes. So when you're moving, you're always landing on the balls of your feet, whether you're moving forwards, backwards, side to side. I'm always on the balls of my feet there. Now, you might be thinking,
Yes, Tony, but your hands are down and I'll punch you straight in the face.
hang on a minute, I know my hands are down, but this is just why I'm showing you the feet. Obviously, from here, you want to have your hands up right there. So this is the boxing stance. Now, when you are moving forwards and backwards, it's important that you keep your feet apart at all times, like this. If I don't keep my feet apart, I'm never going to be able to pivot, because what I tend to see happening is people will move forwards and they'll bring their feet together. I'm in this position. I can't pivot. I can't do anything for me. I can't even punch. So why do you want to ever bring your feet in this position? You always want to keep your feet apart. Now, from here, I'm always in a position to throw them punches, right? And then you see the pivot will come easily when your feet is apart. So quick recap right there. We've got our feet apart. We've got loose knees. We're putting around 70% of the weight on the balls of our feet. The hands are up by the face. And when you're moving, you're keeping your feet apart at all times. And when you perfect this, that's when we can move into the lovely pivot like I'm going to show you. But why would we want to pivot anywhere like this when we can just step to the side? Well, a pivot is generally a defensive move when you're changing the angle to get out of the way of a punch. But there's an offensive move to it as well, which I'm going to show you after I show you the defensive move. And once you've defended after you've done the pivot, then you can come back at your opponent from a different angle. Now, let's break it down exactly how you would do this. So we've got our feet apart, that line in between our feet. And what my old school coach used to teach me, he used to say, Tony, imagine that you've got a nail through your foot there into the ground. The only part of your foot that can move is the back part. The front foot is staying in the ground. Now, you might have heard some coaches say squish the bug. Squish is a proper American term, squish. Where I'm from, we say squash the bug, where you put your foot on it and you turn it like that, which is another thing you can think of if you like. So how I like to think is if there is a nail through that foot and the only thing that can move is the back of the heel. So it can go that way and go that way for the two different pivots. There. So that's where your front foot is. But I'll also show you an advanced way in a minute where I'm showing you how to step and then pivot. But for now, that's the position we're in. So we're here in our boxing stance. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my back foot back and get into my boxing stance position at a different angle. Now, what's important, if you remember what I said, we've got that line in between our feet here, is when you do this, you stop in a position, see I've got that line in between my feet here. When I'm teaching the hook, normally I will see people, they'll be here, line in between the feet, they'll pivot around, and then they'll cross the feet over like that. Now I'm just off balance and I can't throw punches from here. So you always want to go back to the position that you were in. So I'm here in the boxing stance position, line in between the feet, loose knees, pivot, and now I'm here. Exact same boxing stance. Again, so I'm from here, bringing my back foot backwards, and I'm there. If you see, the line's still in between the feet, ready to go. Now we've changed angles. Now we can come forward with our counter-punch attacks. So this pivot is great. If someone is flying forward to you, you got your hands up, you pivoted, you've changed the angle, trying to send them through there. Again, here. Now, when we're moving forward to pivot, it's a little bit different. I've got my guy here, right? If I try to do that pivot where we're both just here, it's kind of a bad position for me because I'm open for his right hand, which I don't want to get hit by. So what you've got to do in this scenario is I want to step out with my front foot and then pivot. Now look at the distance I've put between us. Now I'm at that different angle where I can attack from here. So again, from here, I've got that line in between my feet. I want to step out to the side if my opponent's in front of us. And then from there, then I'm going to pivot that back foot out. And I've changed the angle there. So again, I'm here, step out, and pivot. And it's the same as if I'm hitting the bag. You can't be in front of a bag here and then pivot, or I'm going to be in the wrong angle altogether. So you would have to be in front of the bag, step, create that space, then pivot, then come back at that different angle right there. Then when you practice this in the gym, start slow. Starting off with the in-stance pivot, getting used to bringing that leg around so it lands in the perfect position. And then once you get there, then you can start putting in the step and then bringing the back foot around, getting in that perfect position. This guy's in way. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about advancing this even more. We're going to put a hook in front of it. Now this is such a difficult and one of the most advanced punches in all of boxing to throw, the pivot hook, but it can be done. And for someone like me who's been boxing all my life, it's pretty easy to do, but I get it. It's difficult for most people to work on. And I just want to say, like, if you can't even throw a good jab, or you can't even throw a good 1-2, or even a lead hook, you probably don't want to start trying to throw a pivot hook, right? Makes sense. But if your punches are up to speed and you feel like you get ready to advance, then you can start practicing this punch. Now, if your punches are not up speed and you do need a little bit of extra time to perfect them, maybe you should check out my course, Master Boxing. On my Master Boxing course, this is not just like a video package like you might have seen out there before. This is a legit course where you'll watch videos and you'll answer questions on these videos, making sure you get a clear understanding of everything that you need to level up in boxing. And at the end of the course, you will get a certification. If you go to TonyJeffries.com after this video, or you can scan here with your phone now, it'll take you through and you will be able to see Master Boxing and learn all of the ins and outs of not just your basic punches, but how to punch harder, how to punch faster, get better footwork, get better reactions, lots of boxing drills, lots of workouts, and everything else in between. So check it out, TonyJeffries.com. Okay, now let's talk about the pivot hook. With this, you can do it both ways. One way where you're in your stance, straight into the pivot hook. The other way is when we're going to step and then do the pivot hook. I'm going to show you both ways. The second way is more advanced. So I'm here, I'm going to move this guy out of the way. Then I've got more space. First way, in the boxing stance. What's going to happen? That back foot is going to swing around like I showed you earlier on, but we're going to put the arm behind it like this. Back your stance again. What's happening here is the punch and my back foot lands at the exact same time. When you watch this in slow motion, you can see my hands coming off my face, the back foot swinging around, and it's that swinging motion of my back foot that's helping me get the power into the punch. And like I said, the punch and the foot is landing at the exact same time. Now I'm going to show you that punching this guy in the face, and then I'll show you the step and the pivot hook, which was my favorite one. So I'm here in that boxing stance position. I'm not going to step. I'm just throwing it. Now my foot, the line's in between my feet. I'm at a different angle. Bap, 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 bap. I can come at him from that different angle. One more time. I'm here. I'm not going to step. I've threw it. I'm at a different angle. And then I've come back. Now I just want to say, with them counter punches, the best counter punches to throw after a pivot hook is a jab, jab, two. Because after you throw that pivot hook, you're kind of here in a perfect position to move forward with a jab, jab, two. So that's the one on spot. Now let's talk about the pivot hook with the step, the more advanced one. One of the most advanced punches in boxing. I'm in this boxing stance here. I'm going to step on the ball of my foot. That nails through the foot, so my foot's not moving anywhere. And then that back foot swinging around. At the same time, my arm's going to come out. And that swinging motion is the motion that's going to get the power into the lead hook. So I'm here. I'm going to step and hook. Bang. Again, here. Bah, and the foot and the punch lands at the same time. Now I can also do this moving back. Now what I did there is I'm stepping back, keeping that distance in between my feet that I spoke about at the beginning of the video, so it puts me in the position to be able to do it. I'm here, small steps. This time I'm stepping back with my back foot, front foot lands, that nails through the foot, back foot swings around, boom, and I throw it there. Again. But before you start doing that, you want to be doing it in the same spot here. Boom. And then you can always add in the movement backwards for it there. So I'm going to show you this one on the guy. I'm going to step. Bah. Now, because I'm stepping then swinging around, I'm getting more of a swinging motion. And because I get more of a swinging motion, I get more power in that punch without even having to try. So I'm here. I'm in front. Step. Boom. I don't know if you heard that, but it was a big solid punch. And because I've stepped, now it's giving me more space in between us, and it gives me a better angle to come back, bah, 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 and throwing them punches right there. So when you're practicing this in the heavy bag, I like to push the heavy bag so it's swinging. And I want to move backwards and forwards with the bag, getting used to the timing of this. And then what I'm going to do as it comes towards me, I'm going to step to the side, then I'm going to put in that pivot hook in place. And it'll look like this. So the bag's swinging, I'm going to go backwards, forwards this time, step to the side, bam, and there's the pivot hook right there. So again, the bag is swinging forwards and backwards. I'm going to go with it. This time, step, change the angle. Now I'm at this angle, I can come back with it with counter punches. Again, the bag swinging forwards, backwards, step to the side, pivot hook, bam, bam, bam. Switching and coming back at it from a different angle. Hitting the heavy bag can get pretty boring, and sometimes you can't tell if you're improving or not. On this video, I'm going to give you 10 heavy bag drills that will really spice up your workouts the next time you're in the gym. They're going to start with a pretty basic drill, and as they go on, they're going to get way more advanced. Let's get into drill number 1, and it is finish every combination off with a jab, no matter what the combo is. So if I'm going to throw a 1-2, I want to finish it off with the jab, and it'll be a 1-2-1. If I throw a 1-2 hook, bah, bah, bah. Now here, I'm not really in a position to throw a jab. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset, then throw the jab fast. And it'll be like this. If it was a 1-2 double hook to the body, again, I'm going to reset and throw that jab. This might be a little bit tricky at first, but when you get it into your head that you're finishing with that jab, it will make it a lot better and a lot easier. This constant thinking like you're doing in this drill and all the other drills on this video is going to really help you improve your overall focus. Now moving on to number 2, every combination that we throw is going to start with head punches and then finish with body punches. So if we threw a 1-2 to the head from here, then we've got to finish with the body shot, which would probably be the hook to the body. So it would be a bah, bah, bah. But then if we threw a combo like a 1-2 hook the body, hook the head, we can't finish off with the head, then we've got to come back down with the body shot. So it will look like this. There's thousands of different head-body combinations that you can throw. Now, I challenge you to try and do a different head-body combination every single time for the full duration of the round. The next drill we're going to do is going to really help you develop good habits in boxing. And that is after every punch or every combination, we're going to step back. The reason why this is great is because we're focusing on defense. If you were in a fight and you threw the punches and then you stood there, you're in place to get hit. Now when we throw them punches or the combinations, we work on that step back after, which is great because it's getting us out of danger, developing great habits. As you can see here, I'm moving back, but it's important when you are moving back, you're keeping your feet apart. You never want to bring your feet together, because if you bring your feet together, you're not in any position to throw any punches, rather than when you keep your feet apart and you step back, I would still throw punches if someone was coming onto me. Another important thing is when you are moving like this, you've got to land on the balls of your foot. If you step forward and you land on heel toe as you're punching, it's going to take a longer time for you to be able to push back off, rather than land on the ball of your foot as you punch. Now I can get straight out of there. As you can see here, I'm keeping my feet apart. I'm always ready to throw punches. Moving on, it's starting to get a little bit more advanced now. We're going to do the opposite of what we did before when we did head body. This time we're going to start off with body punches and then throw punches to the head. Now the reason why this is difficult is if I lead off for a body punch like this, you can see I'm kind of wide open here on my right side if someone was to throw a left hook. If I throw a jab to the body, again I'm wide open for an overhand right. If it was a lead hook to the body, I'm in this position here, I'm wide open. So this is why it is harder to lead off with body punches in boxing. But we're going to do it because it's going to spice up our session on here. Now when you're doing this, it's going to be easy for you to drop your hands and get into bad form. But we want to be avoiding that at all costs. Bring your hands back to your face after every punch. And just like the head-body combination we did earlier on, there's hundreds of different body-head combinations that you can do. So I challenge you to do as many of these as you can throughout the round. The next drill we're going to do is something that I believe every boxer or everyone training boxing should be doing in every session, but they're not. And the reason why, because it feels awkward when you're doing it at first, but this will help develop great habits. And what that is moving your head before and after every punch. Now, if you look side by side here, just how much better I look on the right with the head movement compared to before when I'm not doing any head movement at all. It's a game changer. You see the big difference, right? Number 6 is working on the most important punch in boxing. This is the jab, and it's going to really help you perfect the jab. And I recommend you try and do this for the full round. We're going to use the pyramid system, where we're going to do 1 punch, then 2 punches, then 3 punches, to 4, to 5, we'll go all the way to 10, and then we're going to come down. So here it is. As you may know, throwing a double jab is pretty difficult and pretty awkward. Never mind throwing 3 jabs or 4 jabs like you're seeing right here. Now, if you can get comfortable throwing 7 jabs in a row, just imagine how good that is going to be for your single jab. It's just going to improve it even more. Now, when you get to 10, you're going to go all the way back down to 1 and then start it again. Another thing, try and bring your hand back to your face after every single time you throw this jab. And one thing you're going to notice is when you're doing this, is your shoulders are going to get tired. This is a great endurance drill to build the shoulder muscles in your lead hand. Now let's move on to number 7. This is getting a little bit more advanced now, but not as half as advanced as number 9 and number 10. What we're going to do now, we're going to throw 4 punch combinations, but I want you to have 2 power punch combinations within inside of that. So you're going to throw 2 light punches followed by 2 power punches. And that right there, my friend, is your 4 punch combination. As you can see here, my first 2 is light followed by 2 big heavy power punch and knockout blows. Try and stay relaxed because this one will really get your heart rate pumping. Now moving on to number 8 is going to really help you perfect your punches, and that is by using my ideal punching method. This is a system that I've created to help you perfect your punches, and this is going to help you get out of any bad habits that you might have. So what you've got to do, you've got to identify your mistakes. And then once you know what mistakes you're making, you're going to deal out all of the bad habits. The next step would be to execute them. After that, we're going to reanalyze your boxing form and technique to see where you are. And then, my friend, you will level up. But we can't do all of that in one heavy bag session. It's going to take you at least 10 workouts. And I've created a video package for absolutely free to help you do this. Now I'll send you this video package. All you've got to do is either scan here or click the link below and I'll send you it straight away. It includes boxing workouts for you to do the next time you're on the Heavybag, and as well downloadable materials to help you perfect your punches. So click the link below or scan this code here and I'll send you this straight away for free, no strings, no BS. Now let's move on to number 9. Now this is way more advanced, but it's realistic, and that's what we want, realistic stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to feint, then we're going to attack with either a punch or a combination, and then I want a defensive move after that attack. So again, we're here, it's feint, attack, defend. Now when you are feinting, make sure it's a realistic feint. None of this stuff or this stuff, a realistic feint, either with your hands or with your feet. As you can see, it's a realistic feint. Then attack, now defense, whether it's a roll, a slip, or a parry. It doesn't matter what defense you move, as long as you visualize a punch coming at you and then you're getting out of the way of that punch. This is going to help you develop good habits, the good habits that we need in boxing. But start off slowly when you're doing this. If you can't do this correctly slowly, you're never going to be able to do it correctly fast. I don't want you to sacrifice good form and technique just for the reason of trying to look faster. Now moving on to the most advanced thing I believe you can do on a heavy bag that will help translate from here into shadow boxing, into pad work and into the ring as well. This drill is fantastic, and anyone who I train with, I get them doing this because it's going to really work your brain. And what this is, we're going to throw a realistic feint, keeping the person in front of us thinking. Then we're going to throw a punch or a combination. Then from there, we're going to visualize a punch coming at us and we're going to defend. After we've defended, we're going to add a counter punch on. After we've done that counter punch, we're going to do another defense. Now I know this sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. I'm going to show you in full speed, but let's break it down. We're going to feint, attack, defend, counter, then defend. Feint, attack, defend, counter, then defend. This is really going to make your brain work and getting into good habits all the time. Here it is in the heavy bag. Now I always want to try and keep this realistic, as if it's a realistic punch coming at you. So if I'm slipping a jab, I'm going to come back with a right hand. If I'm slipping the right hand, I'm going to come back with a left hook. Doing this sort of work on the heavy bag will really help develop your skills. I've studied thousands of professional boxers. I've taught over 10,000 people how to box in person. As well, I had 106 fights in my career, fighting over 50 champions from around the world. And I've noticed there's 4 things that every world-class fighter does that coaches don't teach. This is Roy Jones Jr. He's a 14 times world champion. Now, can you notice what he's doing here? This is during round 10 when he fought Bernard Hopkins. He's another, Floyd Mayweather, during a 10-round world title fight. Just look at his face and how fresh he looks. How about Canelo Alvarez here during a world title fight? Just look at these 3 boxing legends. They don't look tired one bit. And why is that? And you might be thinking, well, Tony, it's obvious, because these are very fit and well conditioned. And yes, conditioning is a huge part of it, but there's something else that these guys doing that you can do too. And I never really thought about this until I start coaching boxing. This is how you might look during a session of sparring. So these champions are experts at knowing how and when to breathe. And here's how you can practice it the next time you're in the gym. Often when we're in a gym and on a heavy bag and someone's next to us, we start getting a little bit tight. Our brains start overthinking. We start punching the bags and holding our breath, trying to get too much power in our punches. But what the champions are doing, they are really focusing on recovering when it's time to recover, holding the breath when it's time to hold the breath, which is very rare when a champion does that, but also exhaling with every single punch. Now, when you're out of range, whether you're on the bag, in the mitts, or in sparring, you can put your hands behind your back. You can pick your butt if you want to. You can be totally relaxed. But when someone's in front of us, our brains start overthinking, overanalyzing, and we get tired. Where these guys are super relaxed throughout the full fight. And because of their experience doing this, the repetition, what they've got to do, focusing on breathing, the next one is huge. Moving on to number 2, even though Floyd's won all of them titles and was known as pound for pound best fighter in the world, look what he's doing here. Then look at Canelo Alvarez here, considered the best fighter in the world right now. Look what he's doing in his training session. Can you see? Can you tell? And even after the success, he's still doing this sort of training. And what Floyd and Canelo are doing there is working on one punch at a time, perfecting that punch. Even if you look at Mike Tyson here, he's working on the same combination over and over and over again. And Mike Tyson said this when he was talking about how good he is.
Continue to do it. Repetition until I do it right.
Mike Tyson understood that to get better at anything, you've got to do it. You've got to consistently do it. And it's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice makes makes perfect. Like you see Floyd and Canelo doing, they form that perfect jab over and over again. And this is me, age 15, working at perfecting the hook to the body. Forgive the Nokia 3210 that it was recorded on, but you can see what I'm talking about. I was just blasting in that lead hook to the body over and over again. I would spend so much time throwing this punch. What ended up happening is I start KOing everybody in sparring, in my fights, throwing this lead hook to the body. And this is why Mayweather is known as having one of the best jabs of all time in boxing. He never stopped working on it, even when it was perfect.
I make mistakes, but I strive every day to be a perfectionist. And we all know God only made one thing perfect, and that's my boxing record.
And doing this in training, it's not just about hitting the bag at the end of the round over and over again. It's about doing it perfect. The next thing I see so many modern day fighters doing, not so much the old school, is this right here. See if you can spot it. This is Bivol, who beat Canelo Alvarez. Can you notice what he's doing here?
As a weapon, Bivol is throwing combinations. He's landing. He's having more success landing punches than really.
Also, Tyson Fury is a master of this. He's doing something similar right here.
Fury is coming out more aggressive here.
Did you spot it? Here, I will do it. See if you can see. What they did and what I'm doing right now is always moving. Little twitches with my hands, with my feet, keeping their opponents thinking at all times. And it's not just feints, it's constantly moving, getting into your opponent's head. And you can do this. The next time you're on the bag, think about moving before and after every single punch. And the next one is what made all of these champions on the screen right now have so much success. We have Prince Naseem, Amir Khan, Anthony Joshua, Manny Pacquiao, and many more. In fact, after studying all of these fighters, I've only ever seen one world champion who's not amazing at this. And you can work on this the very next time you're in the gym. So what do you notice about these champions? What's Manny Pacquiao's best asset? Well, he's great at punching, movement in and out, but it's not his hand speed, which by the way is definitely one of his best assets. What's the best thing about Mike Tyson? It's not his punching power, which by the way is huge. What's the best thing about Naseem Hamed? Well, I love how cocky he is in his mind games, but it's not that. It's not his punching power, which is a great asset. All three of these fighters and all of the other world champions that I studied all had unbelievable hand, eye and foot coordination. Now if you think, well, Mike Tyson knocked everyone out, so what was his punching power? Well, if you think he had slow feet, you can punch as hard as Mike Tyson, but if you can't get your feet into range to land them punches, it's a waste of time. Now Manny Pacquiao has very fast hands.
There's a look at Pacquiao, battle to the end of the 8th round.
But he uses the momentum of the footwork to really be able to punch and move at the same time to improve that hand speed. And they're all moving and punching at the same time. And the way you get good at this is by doing specific footwork drills. I love doing agility ladder drills, but all gyms haven't got agility ladders. And I created this video right here giving you some hand, eye and foot coordination drills that you don't need any equipment for. So click here and get these 5 drills.